pressure coming from behind, and that is intercepted by the Bears. Nigel Swift with the INT. He is heading down the sideline. One man to beat. Swift heading for the end zone, and he is in for a New York Bears touchdown.
Socrates, he's on the move, and they're going to look for Socrates in the corner. Touchdown!
Back on in, here's Yoxin. Yoxin with the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores! Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal, and he scores!
And it is a power play goal! Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score!
Smith delivers. And that's hit back toward the mound. Weiss has it short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
Live from Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle, New York, PDF Sports. Now, originally going into this game, we thought this was going to be a matchup between who gets the home field advantage for the seeding in the playoffs, but due to a forfeit from the Cobras, the Demon Knights now have clinched that 2 seed. So this game really comes down to, for both teams, being a bragging rights game. Overall, what do you expect to see tonight in this game between the Bandits and the Legion?
Well, the Legion are looking for a sweep in the season series against the New York Bandits. The Bandits have 3 wins this year. None of those have come on the field. They've benefited from some forfeits, but as you said, Nick, it is the final week of the regular season for the EFA, and for us here on PDF, this weekend marks a first for us in our partnership with the EFA. Over the last 2 seasons of EFA football, we've covered every matchup combination between the current EFA teams at least once, with the exception of this matchup between the Legion and the Bandits. That being said, this matchup is one that has produced several highly competitive games over the last couple of seasons. As you said, bragging rights will be on the line tonight. The Legion and the Bandits come in having faced off once this year, but New York is still looking for that first win. When you have a 4-team league where all 4 teams qualify for the postseason, there's certainly something on the line tonight, but that Cobras forfeit took a lot of the meaning away from this game in terms of home field advantage in that matchup between the Legion and the Demon Knights.
And Joe, you're absolutely right. The Demon Knights now rendering that game a moot with the forfeit from the Cobras, and by virtue of that forfeit now, the Demon Knights have clinched the 2 seed in the postseason for the EFA. Meanwhile, the Bandits and the Legion have played some close games so far in the EFA season. About a month ago, we saw a 12-6 win for the Legion, and now both teams want to go into the playoffs on a positive note. Obviously, not only for bragging rights, but for some momentum. For the Legion, that means finishing 5-3, potentially flashing some much more needed offense that we haven't seen so far this season. And for the Bandits, Joe, they're looking for their first on-the-field win since 2021.
The Legion have already exceeded their win total from last season, and they've certainly seemed to improve as the season has progressed. With the Legion, I don't think we've gotten the chance to see them operating at 100% yet, and that's something I'm looking forward to in tonight's game. Last time we saw them, it was under heavy rainfall against the Demon Knights, and they were missing several key players in that game. Meanwhile, the last time we saw this Bandits team was also against the Demon Knights, and they struggled just as the Legion did against Empire State. Despite those struggles, the Bandits nearly picked up a win against the Demon Knights last season and have lost 3 straight to the Legion by just a single score. They hope tonight is the night that can bring that streak of 3 consecutive one-score losses to an end.
And, Joe, we've had a chance to see the Bandits a few weeks ago in the heavy-handed loss to the Demon Knights. You and Dave Bizzuto were on the call for that one. And not a lot went right in that game for them. And they just looked like a team that was still trying to find their way in it. And overall, what do you think they can do here tonight to build on their foundation and try to scratch out a win against the Legion?
First and foremost, they cannot afford to turn the ball over at the rate they did against the Demon Knights. In what could very well be a battle of field position tonight, the team that protects the football should gain the advantage in that field position battle. Also, the Bandits need to recognize that as they've had issues sustaining drives this season, the Legion have also had similar issues sustaining drives. The Bandits need to avoid the sacks that have gone for big losses, and they need to find a way they can get to their running game and get that going. Both of these teams haven't been able to run the ball much in the games we've covered this year, and if one of them can gain an advantage on the ground, that should give them a major boost tonight.
And Joe, this is now our third time seeing this Legion team this year. They're 0-2 in games played on PDF, so they're looking to break that streak here tonight. And what's more concerning for them is they haven't scored in the games that we've covered. Obviously, you have to score to win in football, but we know they have a pretty good defense. So how do they get their offense going in gear?
Taking a look on your screen, you see the standings entering today. That does not reflect the forfeit victory for the Demon Knights over the Cumberland County Cobras. But back to your question, last time we saw this Legion offense, they opened the game with turnovers on consecutive snaps. That's obviously something that they need to clean up tonight. But beyond that, the Legion need to pass protect. Last season, we saw the Legion able to run the ball sporadically throughout the season, but many of their passing plays required the ball to get out of the quarterback's hands very quickly. If they can give their quarterback some more time in the pocket, we've seen that this Bandits defense can be vulnerable in the passing game. As for the ground game, it goes back to something I've said all season. Avoid negative plays on early downs. That goes for both teams, without a doubt, but I think that needs to be a point of emphasis for a Legion team that did have a bit of success on the ground last season.
And great analysis, Joe, and both teams obviously looking to seek to cash in on those goals tonight. But with that, what Joe and I will do is we'll step out, get a word or two from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be just a couple moments away. We'll give you our final thoughts on today's matchup between the Bandits and the Legion. With us, this is your home for the EFA football, the PDF Sports Network.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
And we are back here, and you're looking live at the Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle, home of the Bandits. And Joe, also the home of the EFA Championship game on November 18th, season ending tonight. And all the teams have a bye week next week to prep for the playoffs. And then on November 11th, we finally have our first playoff matchups of the season.
And we now know both our matchups and who will be hosting those games. Now, going into the day, it was still up in the air. Who would be the 2 seed? Who would be the 3 seed? That has been decided. Empire State picked up a forfeit win over the Cumberland County Cobras. They are the 2 seed. They will host the New York Legion, who will be the 3 seed. That opens up a possibility for 2 games we could cover next week. It would either be the Legion at Demon Knights or the Bandits at the Bears. We get that information during the week. The league tells us where we are going, so we're on the edge of our seats to find out which of the 2 playoff matchups we'll be covering when the playoffs open up. I believe I said next weekend. That is not next weekend. That is 2 weeks away on November 11th. So 2 weeks away. And then the EFA Championship back here at Facina on November 18th. But the first of our 2 playoff matchups completely set in stone. As we know, the Bears are hosting the Bandits. Our second matchup was set tonight. The Demon Knights taking on the Legion. The lone meeting between the Legion and the Bandits this season resulted in a forfeit by the Bandits, and last season on PDF, it was a huge win for the Bears at home, when they took on the Bandits. So obviously the Bears would be an overwhelming favorite entering their game against the Bandits, but as we know, anything can happen in the playoffs. When it comes to our second matchup, we know that the Demon Knights will be playing the Legion. The Demon Knights won big when these two teams met 2 weeks ago, but the weather was a major factor in that game, and you know that both teams will be arriving for the playoffs healthier and with greater numbers than we saw in their previous matchup. This has the potential to be an intriguing matchup, but the Demon Knights won convincingly 2 weeks ago, and they certainly expect to make it 2 for 2 against the Legion when they meet again in the postseason.
And great thing for these two teams tonight between the Bandits and the Legion, it is a very clear night tonight. Weather is a little bit on the warmer side, which is very surprising for late October, but we're going to get some good weather for this game nonetheless. And for the playoffs and the championship game, PDF will be with you every step of the way, as we are your home for the EFA and the EFA partnership with the XEFL.
So, of course, following the crowning of an EFA champion, there will be a crossover championship game between the winner of the XCFL championship and the EFA championship. That game will take place on November 18th, as you saw when we put up our playoff bracket on the screen. But certainly an exciting time, and I think I just misspoke again, Nick. The EFA championship is on the 18th. So I think our original schedule the original schedule, I believe, did have the crossover championship on the 18th, but that was a preseason schedule. Not only can anything happen in the postseason, a lot can happen in an 11-week or a 12-week season. So for the EFA, their ultimate championship game, the crossover game with the XCFL, was pushed back just a bit. That game, we suspect, would be on November 25th. We certainly look forward to that. A lot to look forward to here tonight in this matchup between the Bandits and the Legion. Nick, we've mentioned it already. The Legion yet to win in their appearances here on PDF this year. We've covered the Bandits just once this year. They had a bit of a struggle against the Demon Knights in that game, but this is the Bandits' home field, and that means a lot in terms of numbers. Typically, teams have a far greater turnout for their home games, and I think that appears to be the case for the Bandits tonight, as opposed to their game at Empire State earlier in the season. A big win for the Demon Knights in that matchup.
And I think, when it comes down to it for a playoff factor as well, having home field advantage really gives your team a nice little, boost going into those games. So any fan support you can have this late into the season is always really good. And we saw the matchups earlier on with the Bears taking on the Bandits, and we know now that it will be the Demon Knights taking on the Legion. And for a home game for the Demon Knights, how much does that really play into a factor with not only the home field advantage, but you have all the momentum, you're the higher seed, and now you're having more expectations going into that playoff matchup than your opponent. But for the other side, your opponent looks to pull off the upset and then move on to the championship game.
Well, I think we spoke about it before. Home field advantage will benefit the Demon Knights, but I think what will really benefit them is the ability to get healthy. They haven't had their four biggest playmakers on the field for a single game. I don't want to leave anybody out, but Ty Lopez, A.J. Ray, Tyler Sawicki, and then we had a signal from off camera, but nonetheless, we haven't had a chance to see all of the Demon Knights playmakers on the field together for a single game. And I think that's something that they expect to change come playoff time, and that's something that will certainly be important to Empire State in their matchup with the Legion. That being said, I think there's a lot that came from that first matchup between the Legion and the Demon Knights that can be discounted in part because of the weather, but also in part because the Legion did not show up with that many players in that game. We expect that to change come playoff time, and taking a look at the numbers they have tonight, they must have at least close to 2 times as many players as they had on that rainy evening in Empire State. I think they'll have numbers similar to what we see out there on the field right now come playoff time, and I think that even though the Demon Knights have the benefit of home field advantage, both teams will have the benefit of greater numbers.
And when we look at those playoff matchups as well, Joe, obviously we've seen the Bears so many times this season. They are, to a lot of people's discretion, have to be the favorite to win this championship game. But the other 3 teams in the playoffs are obviously looking to gun for the Bears. The Bears have an undefeated record on the season, first seed in the playoffs. For a team like the Bears, what do they have to do? Or maybe even the question I should ask is, for the teams that are going for the Bears, what do they have to do going into these matchups to try to uptake that Bears team? Because we've seen a lot of them overall in the season. Both sides of the ball, they've been really good. what can we see from not only maybe in tonight's game for a Bandits team that will look to build on some momentum going into their matchup with the Bears in a couple of weeks, and for the other side, the Legion and Demon Knights will certainly be watching that one to see what they potentially could face if the Bears get past the Bandits.
We spoke about it last time we saw the Bears when they faced the Demon Knights. If there's any blemishes on the Bears' resume this season, I think one of them is the success on their opening drives. They've had a tough time opening games with scores in the games that we've covered here on PDF, and that opens the door for any opponent of the Bears to take a lead on them early. That's easier said than done. Their defense has been good this year, but they haven't been impossible to score on. And the Demon Knights showed in Week 1 that Bears defense can be scored upon. They marched straight down the field and scored a touchdown on their opening drive. They had the ball on the goal line with a chance to go up 2 possessions. And I don't think anyone saw that Week 1 matchup playing out that way. And if the Demon Knights get another crack at the Bears, you have to think they'll go into that matchup with a lot of confidence, a lot healthier, and believing that they can knock off this Bears team. But the Bandits will get the first opportunity, and we've only seen the Bandits once this season. There wasn't much that went right for them in that game, and there wasn't much to take away from that. On a positive note, I think generating some sort of momentum going into that matchup with the Bears is very important for the Bandits tonight. And if you're the Bandits, you'd love to enter the playoffs with a win. You won't have that winless streak hanging over you. They haven't won a game on the field since the 2021 season, so anything that you can do as the Bandits to build confidence going into that playoff matchup is key. And if you're the Bears, you have to be going in with a tremendous deal of confidence. The Bears won over the Bandits via forfeit earlier this year. They won by a huge margin last year. And I think if there's one other area that the other playoff teams can attack against the Bears, it comes down to putting the Bears in situations where you can force them to make mistakes pre-snap. The Bears have been prone to some pre-snap penalties. We've seen some mistakes by them defensively as well with some late hits. If you can get them a bit frustrated and put them in a position to make those mistakes, you give yourself a chance, because there haven't been many other effective ways to attack this Bears team, whether it be defensively or offensively.
And that first matchup, we saw the Bears getting in to that issue with a lot of penalties that led them to having a slow start in that game. They were trailing 6-0. They had to rally and put up 33 unanswered points to win the game. And in the previous matches that we saw with the Bears, you spoke about it clearly. I mean, it was a slow start for both sides. The Bears really picked it up towards the end of that first half, and in the second half, it was just all Bears in that one. So the Bears, we know, are going to be the favorite, and there's a lot of pressure on them too, Joe, because with that undefeated record, everyone wants to beat you and hand you that first loss of the season. We spoke about that in our last pregame as well. The Bears have a lot of things going right for them, but that big 0 in their loss column is huge for the other teams that are vying to beat them going into this playoff format. So the Bears will definitely be public enemy number 1 going into the format, but it should lead to some great football action.
Well, given the margin of victory the Bears had over the Bandits last year, you have to think that there's a tremendous amount of confidence they will enter that matchup with, and rightfully so. But come championship time, if that offense gets off to another slower start, I don't want to call it a slow start because they have found their footing very quickly in games, but opening drives typically haven't produced points for them in the games we've covered here on PDF. If they get off to a slower start, like we saw in Week 1 against the Demon Knights, it's not the same situation. The championship title is on the line. Your unbeaten season is on the line. And you know that as an opponent of the Bears, there is nothing more the Demon Knights could have to play for. You're playing for the championship. You're playing to spoil an unbeaten season. Any team that faces the Bears in the postseason will want to beat them. And the same goes for the Legion in that spot. If the Legion work their way into the championship, they're looking to spoil an unbeaten season. They're looking to be crowned EFA champions. So I only referenced the Demon Knights first because we saw that matchup earlier this year. But Empire State showed us what can be done against that Bears defense on the offensive side. They were able to slow them down on the defensive side, and I think a big part of why they were able to do that is that they were able to force a lot of fourth downs early in that game against the Bears. The Bears found themselves in quite a few fourth down situations against Empire State. More than once, the Demon Knights were able to get them off the field. They were able to force some punts. And even in the game that we saw at Granny Road in our last broadcast here on PDF, the Demon Knights gave the Bears some trouble early, but I think that game really got away when they allowed a touchdown right before the half. There wasn't much time to go. The Bears put 6 on the scoreboard on the very last play of the first half, and I think that was a backbreaker for the Demon Knights. Defensively, it had to be demoralizing. The offense now trailed by 2 scores entering the second half, and that puts you in a really tough spot. if you're the Demon Knights in that game, and I think that really set the tone for the way that game played out in the second half. But in the playoffs, it's an entirely different beast, and I think the Bears are certainly going to be tough to beat, but don't write any of these other teams off entering the 14 playoff coming up in a couple of weeks.
And I think another good point for the Demon Knights case is we spoke about it the last time, Joe. They needed some momentum going into the final week of the season, and then we were expecting them to play the Cobras tonight. Obviously, the forfeit gave them the win, so maybe that momentum will be there for them in the postseason. But now it's a longer break for them going into the playoffs, so I think that's something to note going into it for them in the next couple of weeks. But for now, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Still waiting a kickoff here at Facina Field. I'm not sure where the officials are currently, but it looks like we should be just maybe a couple minutes away. So for that, Joe and I will step away for just a couple minutes, and we'll be right back here on the PDF Sports Network.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com. Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we are back from the Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle on the PDF Sports Network. Once again, this is Nicholas Pavone, joined alongside Joe Foreman. And Joe, the issue that we're currently having is we have a shortage of referees going on right now. So it looks like kickoff is going to be delayed for an extended period of time. So that is the issue that we're currently dealing with. Both teams are still warming up as of right now, but we're still waiting to see if we will have more officials for tonight's contest.
So I think the situation, to elaborate in greater detail, right now there are 2 referees on site. I think you need 3 to begin a game. So we do have Harlem Gators and New York Patriots head coach Dave Patterson here, and he does have refereeing credentials, so he could potentially fill in as an extra referee. Of course, Dave has been our guest here on PDF before. We covered a New York Patriots game earlier this season, and of course we covered the Harlem Gators in the EFA last season. But Dave is here and potentially could fill in as an official tonight. However, we don't know how long the delay will last. Nick and I were getting hungry, and it smelled like somebody was cooking somewhere on the premises.
It was not helping.
My nose immediately picked it up. I was ready to go down to the snack stand and see what was going on over there. But in terms of football, we're not sure when we're getting started tonight. So what we'll do is we'll throw it to break. Nick and I will come back when it looks like kickoff is imminent. Our stream will stay live. We will update you in the comments section regarding a start time for tonight's game once we have that information.
So stay tuned here to the PDF Sports Network to make sure when kickoff will be happening, as we will, as Joe mentioned in the comments, once we are getting closer to that kickoff. So we'll be right back here on the PDF Sports Network. This is once again Nicholas Pavona joined alongside Joe Foreman for the EFA's final regular season game between the Bandits and the Legion.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
And we are back from Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle. Nick Pavona alongside Joe Foreman once again. And Joe, well, I was going to say a sentence, but then we had a wrestling match on the field.
That was a bit of an awkward exchange to come back from. I believe that is Legion quarterback Tramell Williams taken down by some of his former teammates. Yeah, some of his former teammates greeted him in a very excited manner.
All in good sportsmanship, nonetheless. But, Joe, it looks like we are just moments away from kickoff. We just had the coin toss, and we do have finally 4 officials for this game. One is wearing shorts, but we do have 4 officials for this upcoming contest.
Well, it's good to see Dave had his refereeing shirt. Unfortunately, he did not have the black pants, so he's going with the white basketball shorts tonight to stark contrast to the other 3 officials. But we're about set to get underway, and the Legion will receive the opening kickoff.
Dave is our knight in shining armor at this point in this game, but Legion will get the ball first here in the first half as they look to get a big win before the playoffs, as well as the Bandits, though, Joe. Both teams looking to get some momentum going into their playoff matchup in just 2 weeks. The Bandits obviously will be taking on the New York Bears, and this Legion squad will be taking on the Demon Knights. As we talked about it in the pregame, the Demon Knights, with the virtue of a forfeit by the Cobras, are now the 2 seeds, so it will be the Legion going to the Demon Knights for that first-round matchup in the EFA playoffs.
And that's a matchup that we saw on PDF 2 weeks ago, a rain-soaked matchup in case you missed our pregame show. Big win for the Demon Knights in that matchup, but just based on what we've seen before this game has kicked off, the Legion looked like a far different team than we saw in Granny Road a couple of weeks back, as they have far more players out there on their sideline than they had for the game against Empire State. That certainly makes a huge difference, as it looks like the 2 teams are being told to switch sides. So the Legion offense will move right to left to start this game. But that's a matchup that the Legion, they believe they can win it. And going into that game against Empire State, even 2 weeks ago, they had a great deal of confidence. You have to think that if they bring far more players to the next meeting, and of course, with the playoff implications of that matchup, they have to feel good once again.
And I think for the Legion, they're just very grateful to have non-rain weather for this game. A nice clear night here in New Rochelle for this one at Joseph F. Facina Field. So curious to see how these two teams will play out going into this final game of the regular season before their playoff matchup in 2 weeks. We spoke about it a lot, though, Joe, during the pregame. Overall, what do you expect to see from tonight's matchup in terms of both sides, and how can they build momentum going into their respective postseason matchups just in a couple weeks?
I think it's challenging to verbalize expectations ahead of a game like this, only because the way these two teams have played against one another is often not the way they played against the rest of the league. The games between these two sides typically have been very close. In the games that both of these teams have played against the rest of the league, they've had a lot of trouble running the football, and I think maybe that's something they try to do a bit more against one another, knowing that perhaps with this even matchup, there is a bit more of a margin for error. These two teams going into games against the Bears and the Demon Knights considered big underdogs in those matchups, and the final scores have reflected that. When you know that you have the opportunity to put the ball on the ground, and if you do have to punt it away, you're not at risk of immediately allowing a score. We've seen opposing offenses score a lot of points on these two teams, and I think it's fair to look at those matchups and say that you play this game a little bit differently than you would a game against the Bears, who are unbeaten. Obviously, the Bandits haven't faced the Bears on the field this year. Their first meeting resulted in a forfeit win for New York, the Bears that is, but the Legion did face the Bears earlier in the season, and I think looking back at that Week 1 game, this Bandits team we're going to see tonight, even the Bandits team we saw against Empire State a couple of weeks ago, far different than the Bandits team that faced the Bears the first time, and after the second meeting between the Legion and the Bears, the New York Bears said as much. The Legion were much improved following that matchup, and I think it's unfortunate that the rain impacted that game at Empire State last time we covered the Legion because we didn't get a chance to see their full complement of players. I think we will get that opportunity tonight. I'm looking forward to it, but the way both teams have struggled on the ground, it might be the team that makes one big play that comes away with the win.
And it could very well be the team that has the ball last could win this game. We spoke about it. It's been low-scoring games most of the time, and we could see another low-scoring matchup here tonight, especially with the way the Legion's defense has been for them this entire season. So we're almost near kickoff. The Bandits are still trying to get a couple more players on the field.
Now, we thought we were probably a few moments away from kickoff, about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and every once in a while we'll see this. The team standing around, waiting to kick off, the ball in place, but we've had to stall for some time before. We are no strangers to this territory.
Well, we've had that in the last couple of weeks. As remember, our last game that we called, we thought the 2-minute warning was a 2-minute warning, and it was a good 10 minutes until the 2-minute warning. So.
To be fair, someone on the sideline did say that we had less time. So, in our defense, we were picking up false information. I don't know if they were referring to the game clock when they said that, but it sounded like someone said 2 minutes left. First half. That's what we thought we heard. Clearly, we were wrong.
Unfortunately.
Hey, you tried to operate a running clock in the first quarter. That was an impressive effort. Unfortunately, we were about 3.5 minutes off.
Yeah, 3 minutes off. I couldn't. My issue was that I always forget between the college style of clock and the NFL style, so I think that's what mixed me up at the end of the day. But nonetheless, the Legion, as we said, are going to get the first half kickoff. Looks like Daquan Villanueva is back there as well as Darren Glover to receive this opening kickoff for the Legion as they look to get a big win before their matchup in 2 weeks with the Demon Knights.
Some of our fans are very excited, Nick. That banging is coming from the stands.
Always love to see, or in our case, love to hear that home field atmosphere for a game like tonight. Kickoff is away. Bobbled, and it's going to be brought back by Villanueva. Or his correction, it's going to be Glover that gets the hand of the carry. And he's going to be ruled down at looks to be the 32, maybe 31-yard line for the Legion, as they will be on offense first here in the first half.
Bit of miscommunication there, to say the least, between Villanueva and Glover. The two of them weren't sure who it was that was going to scoop up that kickoff. And
to Villanueva's credit, Joe, I originally thought it was him on the return because he was running as if he had the ball.
And those kickoffs that skip towards the return man, depending on whether or not it's a punt situation or a kickoff situation, those can be a bit tricky. And fortunately for the Legion, nothing came of it. other than a bit of confusion for a few moments, and they'll take over at 31.
And always good for these two teams to set the tone of this game on this first drive. For the Legion, obviously, you're trying to pick up some slack on the offensive side that we mentioned in the pregame. And for the Bandits, you're looking to make a huge statement to give your offense an opportunity to strike first in this one. So we'll have to see what happens on this first drive. The Legion will come out. They'll look to have one wide receiver to the quarterback's left, two to the right side. First and 10 for the Legion here at the 31. Be an inside handoff. An immediate flag goes up. Pick up a 3 on the play. And you have to think with that immediate flag, and there is the motion. It's going to be a neutral zone on the Bandits defense. So an early penalty for New York. And now making now 1st and 5 for the Legion.
First down handoff for the Legion to open up this game, and that goes back to the point I made right before we kicked off. I think we will see both of these teams try and run the ball a bit more than normal, though I think these defenses are going to try and make sure they don't have the chance to run it all the way up the field.
So now after the penalty, now will be 1st and 5 for the Legion at their own 36-yard line. Now 1st and 5 at the 36. Another inside handoff. And a good job by that Bandit defense. And maybe a yard of anything on that one. Now making it 2nd and about 6. They actually lost a yard on that one, so even a better job by the Bandit defense. So a good start for them after that early neutral zone infraction.
2 plays and 2 touches for Larry McLaughlin of the New York Legion. He gets the start in the backfield alongside Tremel Williams at quarterback. As you get a look at that last carry, the Bandits immediately collapsing into the middle of that Legion offensive line.
So now that Legion offense will now come back out. They'll have 2 wide receivers to their left, 1 to the right side. Another shotgun formation for Williams here. And another flag, an immediate jump from the defensive line, it looks like. To see the call, neutral zone again, and it's actually going to be a false start. So this time it goes on the Legion, so they'll now lose 5 more yards. Now making it 2nd and 12, coming up for New York at their own 29.
Well, it's something I spoke about at the beginning of our pregame. The Legion needed to avoid negative plays on early downs. After the offsides, we had a loss of a yard on a carry, and then a penalty, a pre-snap penalty. One official definitely signaled for offsides against the Bandits, but he was overruled by the official on the other side who ruled it a false start against the Legion.
So now with that penalty, now backs the Legion up 5 yards, now making it 2nd and 12. First down marker at the 41-yard line. Another shotgun formation here. Williams will throw it to the bubble screen on the outside, but there is just no room to run. And that's going to be another loss on the play for the Legion. Maybe a loss of 3 on that one. And it's going to make it now, Joe, 3rd and long coming up for New York.
Well, Cameron Nicholson read that play really well, but that being said, it took quite a bit of time for that play to develop. Williams rolled to his left and eventually got the ball out, but when you're setting up a screen and it takes that long for the quarterback to get the ball out, whether that's by design or by the choice of Williams, it gives the defensive backs and the corners a chance to shed their blocks and blow that play up behind the line of scrimmage. Good job by Nicholson. The tackle was finished off by a player wearing 13 for the Bandits. Unfortunately, we don't have a number 13 on our roster.
And for Sadiq Nathaniel, the receiver on that play, not really much of a chance. You mentioned it. Williams rolled out to his left, tried to throw it to Nathaniel on the screen, and he had nowhere to run. That's a great job by this Bandits defense. And now with the penalty as well as that the completion for the loss, it's now 3rd and about 14 for the Legion upcoming here. Well, almost another false start. Williams will take the snap. He's going to look downfield, and he's going to overthrow his receiver. It's going to be incomplete. That's going to make it now 4th down. The intended receiver on the play was number 85, Vaughn Gooden. And he did have a little bit of a step, Joe, but it was an overthrown ball from Williams, and there was 2 defenders in the area of play. So now a 4th and 14, definitely in a punt situation coming up for the Legion. And for the Bandits, they took advantage of that false start, in which it looked like originally it was a neutral zone infraction, but it does go in the Bandits' way. They forced that false start, then they forced the loss on downs on the completion on the bubble screen, and now forcing that incompletion right there.
It's something we talked about early in the season, the first time that we covered this New York Legion team. If the Legion make big plays in the passing game, typically Vaughn Gooding is involved in those big plays. Gooding, one of the team captains for the Legion, a player we got a chance to speak to earlier in the season. And at that time, there was a lot of optimism around this Legion team, and I think it's fair to say that in many ways they have delivered on that optimism. Unfortunately, this opening drive, not a part of that, as they will punt it away. But the Legion take a shot early in the passing game, and the Bandits are there defensively.
Looks to be Eric Golden in the backfield. They'll punt this one away. High punt. And hit off a defender. That's going to go in the Legion's way. That hit off of one of the Bandits' players. That should be Legion ball.
The Legion certainly seem to believe it is their football, but we haven't seen a signal in their direction yet. The officials talking about it. The Legion offense looked like they were ready to come off of the bench, but hold on a minute. We'll get a look at it on replay. And it is Legion football.
And that's one of those scenarios, Joe. That's why they call poison every time you do a punt. And you'll see it right here. It just takes a bounce right off of number 1, which we don't have a 1 in our roster, but it hits off of number 1, and it goes off of him, and then the Legion are able to pounce on it. So that's a heads-up play by the Legion to get the ball, and now they're in a spot where they're on the other side of the 50 at the 43-yard line of the Bandits, and they now have a chance to make up to at least cash in on that mistake from New York.
So the Legion are gifted good field position, and you can pretty much consider that last pass a completion with where they are now. Obviously, it won't go down on the stat sheet that way, but they end up at just about the same spot that Gooding ran out of bounds as the ball fell incomplete.
So now it'll be 1st and 10 from the 43. Williams will again be in shotgun. It'll be an inside zone handoff to his running back, number 23, Marquise Randolph. And Randolph got a pretty good gain on that one. It'll be ruled down at the Bandit, looks to be 38-yard line. So make it about 2nd and 5 coming up for the Legion.
Well, I think the approach for the Legion on the offensive side, pretty clear early in this game. They're going to look to hand the ball off, avoid high-risk passing plays. Oftentimes for them, those passes and extended dropbacks have come with sacks. They'll look to avoid negative plays in the passing game and in the running game, but they are trying to hand it off on early downs.
And it's going to look to be, Joe, a game that's going to be won in the trenches for one of these two sides. So that first down play goes 5 yards. Now about 2nd and 5 coming up for the Legion here. Williams will again be in shotgun. He'll hand it off once again to his running back, Randolph. And Randolph with some good speed, but he loses the football. Ball's on the ground, and I believe the Bandits have it, and they do. So after they forced the muffed punt on the Bandits side, the Legion turned the ball over inside the red zone, and a costly mistake for New York early on. The Bandits, now they will get the football on offense for the first time tonight.
And you'll see it here on the replay. The Bandits over-pursued on that delayed handoff. They had a player in the backfield. That was Justin Rames going after the quarterback, and that delayed handoff certainly worked as intended. They had a couple of Bandits who were making their way around the edges and into the backfield, but at the end of that play, Randolph could not secure the football. It was punched out and recovered by the Bandits deep in their own territory, and they will hope to make something of their opening possession in this game after giving the Bandits, or I should say giving the Legion, a second opportunity when they made contact with that last punt.
That's a killer for the Legion as well. You had something going. You were able to force that punt situation and get the ball back, and a great run from Randolph, but an even better play defensively by number 5 on the Bandits to force that ball out and punch it out. And now it's going to be 1st down for New York. They're going to be inside their own 20. Looks to be at around the 18-yard line. But a big defensive stop for New York, for the Bandits, to get that fumble forced and now give their offense an opportunity to get the first points of this game. So the Bandits will have a shotgun formation. They'll have 2 wide receivers on the left, 2 wide receivers on the right. And it's a very late inside handoff, a halfback draw, and there was no chance on that one, as DeCarlos Critchlow just had no chance after the handoff. He loses a couple yards on the play, and on that one, Joe, it just seems that the Bandits' offensive line kind of collapsed, and Critchlow had no opportunity to get out of the backfield.
Well, I think, as I mentioned before, both teams will look to run it early. Both of these defenses will be honed in on the running game in the early drives of this game. And we'll see which defense breaks first or which team looks to go play action and perhaps catch the defense cheating a bit. I think the Legion had a good counter to the defensive line looking for the run with that extended handoff. When the handoff did not come immediately, the Bandits ended up in the backfield, and the extended handoff worked well for New York. Unfortunately, they fumbled at the end of that play, but the Legion try and hand it off early. It does not work, as that first carry was blown up in the backfield.
And it looked like there was kind of miscommunication on that play from Mike Fantroy and his running back on that late halfback draw. So now 2nd and long for the Bandits, and it's going to be an end-around carry. And it's going to be about a gain of 3 yards on the carry. So almost went for another disastrous play, but a good job by Jason Tyler to avoid getting tackled in the backfield and getting just a couple yards to give his offense just a little bit more breathing room, but still 3rd and very long coming up for the Bandits.
Well, Tyler did a good job to plant his foot and turn what would have been another loss on that play into a gain. A short one, but a gain nonetheless, and you have to think that Fantroy will look to pass for the first time in this game on 3rd down and long. We'll see how the Legion defense responds.
And we'll have to see if the Bandits, if they are able to pass the ball in the situation. And if you're the Legion, hopefully are able to get a stop here, force a quick 3 and out after that fumble. So now 3rd and 13 for the Bandits. And the throw is going to be caught, and it's going to be intercepted, Joe.
Interception by Darren Glover, and we spoke about him quite a bit last season. Glover made big plays time and time again for the Legion, whether it be on the defensive side or he got some work on the offensive side as a quarterback late last year. This time he comes up big with the INT. He was all over that one, and you'll get a look at it again here on replay as Fantroy was looking left sideline, and you'll see it right there. The Legion ran a bluff blitz off the edge, and I don't know if that perhaps fooled Fantroy. The bluff blitzer was not the player who picked the ball off. Tyreek Noble faked the pressure, dropped back into coverage, and I think when Fantroy saw him coming, initially he locked in on the left side of the field. Glover was there, however, and the interception is made. The Legion now get it even closer to the end zone inside of the 20-yard line.
So now the 2nd turnover already of this first quarter for the Bandits. And with Glover's interception, that now sets the Legion up inside the red zone at around the 18-yard line. So, as you mentioned, a great opportunity now even closer than they were the previous turnover for the Bandits. So let's see if they can capitalize here on 1st down. Williams will take it on the quarterback draw, and there's just not much room for him to run. Maybe he gets 2 yards on the play.
Commitment to the running game early for the New York Legion, and why not? If the Bandits are going to give you opportunities for multiple possessions in a very short span of time, take advantage, keep the ball on the ground, low risk. But given the absence of kickers from these rosters, I don't believe either team has a place kicker. Eric Golden, obviously the punter for the Legion, but without a place kicker, you can't run the ball every play in the red zone if the other team isn't allowing it. And we'll see if the Legion can find some openings in the passing game.
And it makes it 4-down territory most of the time in these scenarios when you're in the red zone and with no field goal kicker. You have to try to capitalize. So now 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard pickup from Williams. He'll take the snap. He's looking to his left. He'll throw it into the back of the end zone. He has a receiver, and it's caught for a touchdown. Caught by number 12, Sadiq Nathaniel, who had a reception on the first drive. He goes up one-on-one against his defender and comes down with it for the first score of the night, Joe. 6-0, Legion are on top.
And it looked like the defender may have been taken by surprise when that ball arrived when it did. That ball had a lot of air on it, and you could see Nathaniel was tracking it in flight. We'll get a second look at it here on replay. I think Vaughn Gooding attracts a lot of attention over the middle as well. That left it one-on-one on the outside.
And the defender slipped on that play. That was the biggest reason why Nathaniel got the separation that he needed to score the touchdown. So now a 6-0 lead for the Legion, and with that, they'll now go for 2 to try to make it an 8-0 lead early on as they take advantage of a costly interception on the Bandits' part. So Williams once again will be in shotgun formation. We'll see if he hands it off here or they try to fake it. Williams will run to his right. He'll throw it to his wide receiver, but it's out of reach and thrown out of bounds. Incomplete, so no conversion there. The Legion, though, do take advantage of the pick and now lead at 6-0 here in the first quarter.
Well, if you're the Legion, you have to love the start to this game. Obviously, your first 2 drives didn't go the way you wanted, but you're very quickly up 6-0. And even though it wasn't a clean start for New York, the turnover, I think, the big blemish for them early in this game, but they do get on the board. They lead 6-0, and that's a position you have to love to be in if you're the Legion. The Bandits have had a hard time scoring points all season long, and if you're the Legion and you told them you're going to have 6 early in the first, you'd certainly take it. Here's one more look at that touchdown pass, and the trajectory on that ball in part made that play. If that ball is not thrown as high in the air and does not have as much arc as that pass did, I'm not sure that play ends the same way. I'm not sure Nathaniel finds that football as he did, but he was able to go up over the defender, who unfortunately was not on our roster, wearing number 17, but the corner was there defensively. The eyes were not on the football, and that ultimately cost the Bandits 6 points.
And the Bandits now have to regroup early on in this game, Joe. The muffed punt that led to the Legion having another chance after a 3-and-out their first drive. They were able to get the ball back on the fumble, but then the interception forced by the Legion gave them the short field that they needed to punch it in and get a touchdown and they take the 6-0 lead. But for the Bandits now, they have to respond after giving up that touchdown. Obviously, the 2 turnovers to start, they've only had 1 possession so far in this game.
The Legion will send it away here. Now leading by 6. Another kickoff that will skip into the arms of a return man. No number 5 on our roster for New York, but he is taking this one up the near sideline, stays in bounds, and may take it all the way for 6. And it is a New York Bandits touchdown on the kick return. How about that for a response? And we are all knotted up at 6. A special teams touchdown, and that is something that you can never afford to overlook in these EFA matchups. Here's another look at the return. The ball skips into the arms of the return man. It was well blocked along the sideline. That made a huge difference, and it was awfully close there. We might get one more look at that, as it looked like the return man may have come very close to the sideline early in that return. We have some time ahead of this 2-point play. We'll get one more look at the very early portion of this replay and see if perhaps the return man stepped out of bounds. It was very close, and it's about to come up on your screen right now. So close. We'll wind it back for one more look. There was only one step that had potential to have gone out. And it's right there. We came past it, but I don't think there's any way on a replay review, which we don't have, but on a replay review, I don't think there's any way that's overturned. We're going to slow it down one more time, even more. This will be our best look at it yet. We may have to cut away for live action. That second to last step is the only step that was questionable. I don't think there's any way they overturn that if we had replay review for the officials. So I think they did well to let that one go. Touchdown Bandits, and now with a 2-point conversion, New York can take the lead. Fantroy flushed out to his left. 2 defenders chasing, and that is intercepted by the Legion. Marcus McCray-Adams, up the far sideline with blocking. He's in the open field, but the Bandits chase him down just shy of the 40-yard line. Nearly a big play on a 2-point conversion by the Legion defense. And what a time to step out of the booth if you're Nick. He had a brief call to attend to outside of the booth, had to step out for a moment. It's 6 points on the board for the Bandits and an interception in the end zone by the Legion since. Here you see McCray Adams, who also got work at quarterback for the Legion earlier this year. How about that for versatility? 2 players for the Legion who have intercepted passes in this game have gotten reps at quarterback in games that we've covered here on PDF. So a very interesting start to tonight's game, and we are even at 6 as we play on in this first quarter. While we have a break in the action ahead of this ensuing kickoff, we'd like to remind you that the PDF Sports Network is now available 24/7 on Roku. You can check out our on-demand archives, including some of our best Elite Football Alliance matchups, as well as games from the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the American Arena League 2, and much more. You can check all of that out on the PDF Sports Network Roku app. And for the latest on the EFA, head to EliteFootballAlliance.com. Standings, schedule, stats, and much more available at EliteFootballAlliance.com, the all-new online home of the Elite Football Alliance. Also be sure to check us out at our PDF Sports Network YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet, or you can check us out at PDFSportsNet.com. Right now we have some youngsters who want to get in on the game. Down in the end zone, 2 young fans strolling across the field with a basketball on foot. We love to see young fans out here supporting the teams, perhaps not participating on the field, but nonetheless, a nice crowd assembled here tonight. More than one event going on right now. We have a soccer match over our shoulder behind us on the soccer field. And, of course, this EFA matchup, still in the early stages, but the Bandits and Legion have made this one interesting very early. Certainly stay tuned. We will be here with you through the conclusion of this one. It got started a bit later than we expected. Kickoff was originally scheduled for 6 p.m. We did not kick off until nearly 7. And it looks like we're finally ready for this kickoff. Glover has it, and will try and take it toward the right sideline. Nice burst of speed out across the 40, and Glover is finally tackled at the 45-yard line. So the Legion offense will come back out onto the field after allowing a touchdown on special teams, as we'll get a second look at the kick return by Glover. And we've seen Glover in the past with big returns on interceptions, and I believe he ran back a kickoff for a touchdown last year. I'd have to double check that, but the Legion did have a kickoff return touchdown on PDF last season, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Glover who ran that one back. And we did have a flag at the end of that return. It looks like it's going to be maybe the end of the quarter. It looks like the teams are switching sides. That was a quick first quarter. A lot happened, but that first quarter flew as the two teams will switch sides. Initially, we thought that they were adding some yardage to the kick return, but instead, the Bandits and Legion will swap ends of the field, and the Legion offense will take over at their own 45-yard line. That was a lightning quick first quarter here at Joseph F. Facina Field. Tremel Williams back at quarterback for the Legion. We heard rumblings that we might see some other players get reps at quarterback tonight. We'll see if that comes to fruition later in the game. But for now, it's Williams. Two receivers wide to his right out of the shotgun. The handoff was bobbled. Daewon Kind on the handoff, and he takes it out just shy of midfield. He is officially marked down at the 48-yard line. Second down and 7 for the Legion offense as I welcome my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, back into the booth.
Well, Joe, I had to take care of some important issues off the field as I'm now back here after a crazy kickoff. Now tying the game at 6, and we almost had a 2-point conversion returned back. So thankfully for the Bandits, they did not give up that 2-point conversion.
Well, we have a word for someone who departs ahead of all of the interesting occurrences. We call that man the Blitz.
I guess you can call me that in this instance. Now 1st and 10, it's going to be a handoff from Williams.
That was Kind on the carry, and it looked like on that exchange, Kind almost overran the handoff. He was sprinting out of the backfield.
He was ready to go.
That's either great deception by quarterback and running back to hand that ball off at the very last moment, or perhaps a bit of a miscommunication. Either way, it worked out. And we'll get a second look here on replay. It looked like Kind took the ball from his quarterback very late.
Was a high snap.
I think that played a role. It wasn't as late on replay as it looked in real time. It looked like he had to reach back for the ball. I think it would have been our angle that made it appear that way.
But a good handoff for him now makes it 3rd and a manageable 1 yard. So see if he gets the carry here again to try to get his team the first down to continue the drive. Williams once again the shotgun. Bandits are showing blitz. It'll be Williams on the quarterback keeper, and he's going to get the first down. He'll be ruled down at the 41-yard line, but a good job by Williams. He saw the pressure coming from the Bandits, was able to find that crease in the defense and get his team another first down.
And we saw it in the final week of the regular season last year when the Bandits had Darren Glover at quarterback. They looked to run a lot of these design quarterback keepers against the Demon Knights. And in a 3rd and short situation here against the Bandits, they go to Tremel Williams from the quarterback position. He carries it for a first down, and the Legion are now in Bandits territory.
The Legion looking to get back on top after giving up that kickoff. 6-6 the score. Williams once again will be in the shotgun. Looks to have Kind in the backfield. Does have 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He'll be going to his right. He's looking for his receiver. It's number 4, Khalid Miller, but it's incomplete. Ball looked to be a little bit underthrown from Williams, and that led to the incompletion. He did have Miller did have 2 defenders on him, so it would have been a tough catch either way. But now leading to 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, as you said, Nick, Khalid Miller, the intended target. It looked like he had a step on that play. It was going to have to be a perfect ball to hit him in stride down the field. But as I said during the pregame right before kickoff, I think the team that hits one of these big plays first is the team that gains a huge advantage in this matchup. And you'll see that ball a bit underthrown. And that's a chance taken by Williams in double coverage.
Almost a nice interception on the play by number 5, who also had the recovery or the force of a fumble on the second drive for the Legion. So now 2nd and 10 coming up for Williams and company. He'll now roll out to his left. Almost gets tackled in the backfield, but he has just nowhere to run. And he's going to lose a couple yards on the play. So a good job by the Bandits defense. And now they're going to force a 3rd and long coming up here as they'll try to get the Legion to at least throw the ball through the air. And let's see if they can make the quarterback Williams make a mistake.
That's a great play defensively off the edge by Justin Rames. It was a quarterback keeper once again. We know the speed that Tremel Williams has. These Bandits are very familiar with his speed as he played for them last season. But Rames, coming in on a bit of a tough angle, was able to contain Williams just enough to slow him down, and the rest of the defense comes in to make the tackle. Desmond Daly, one of the Bandits in on that tackle. He was joined by Markel Bartley.
And a great job by Rames on that play. And he was very pumped up after the play to now set up this 3rd and long for this Legion offense. You saw Nathaniel earlier get the touchdown. Immediate flag. Could be a free play. and an immediate tackle force, as Kine was the man that caught the ball in the backfield, but that should be a neutral zone on the Bandits defense, so we'll make it third and a little bit more manageable coming up for the Legion.
Well, nothing free about that play if you're the Legion, as once again Nicholson was in to blow up the screen pass. They will get a free 5 yards, but Nicholson once again read it well in the defensive backfield for the Bandits. And we saw in last week's game the defenses took some chances, specifically the Demon Knights, on third down if it was third and long, or perhaps even second and short. They tried to jump the snap and create a big play on defense in that manner. I'm not sure if that's what the Bandits were doing in that situation. We've seen them go offsides a couple of times in this game, but if there's ever a situation where you could afford to maybe gamble a bit, it's on third and very long against this Legion offense that has struggled to move the ball through the air. We'll see if the Legion can make the Bandits pay for their mistake.
And if you're the Legion, that's look at what you're trying to make them do on this play now. You're trying to make them pay for the mistake that they had in the field. Now you make it third and about 7, so it is more manageable for the Legion to try to get this first down. Have to be thinking they're going to look towards Nathaniel's way or maybe Vaughn Gooden. We saw Gooden force that play, and correction, it looks like the penalty was on the Legion, Joe, so now that actually moves them back. So this is even now a longer third down. It's going to be third and 17, so it must have been a false start on the Legion offense. So now Williams has to go even further to try to get this first down. He'll step back and throw. He does have some pressure, trying to get it away. He'll have to now scramble out. He's got some real estate, Joe, but he's going to get tackled at around the 38-yard line. Another flag on the field as well. So we'll have to see what the call is on the field. But if Williams went inside, Joe, he had a really good chance to get that first down marker and maybe even more.
We spoke about versatility before. You actually were outside the booth, but I spoke about how 2 players who had intercepted passes for the Legion in this game played quarterback for them at some point in the last 2 seasons. How about the Bandits quarterback right there? That's Mike Van Troy on the tackle. He was the last line of defense on that play. And if he doesn't make that tackle, Williams is still running. The question is, what was the penalty? Was it accepted?
Penalty was a block in the back on the Legion offense. So it was declined, so it will be fourth down coming up for the Legion on the plus side of the territory. Looks to be at around, I would say, the 38-yard line.
And I think we saw that block in the back on the replay ahead of that tackle by Van Troy. But a good job by Van Troy to make sure that play didn't become anything more. And with the penalty declined, how close were the Legion to a first down?
I think what we also had mistaken, Joe, is that was fourth down, that last play. So we had a turnover on down. So the Bandits are now back out on offense. So that was a crucial tackle, now even bigger from Van Troy to make the play. And now he comes back out on offense looking to give his team the lead for the first time tonight.
I know what happened, Nick. The penalty that we originally thought was on the Bandits was against the Legion, and it was declined. That set up fourth down. The loss on the screen pass sent us to fourth down. The play was not blown dead by the penalty. The play stood as it transpired. That's how we ended up at fourth down.
So now Van Troy comes out for his second offensive possession, and he's going to go right off his receiver's hands, incomplete. Second down.
And that's something we saw in the game against the Demon Knights. Van Troy under immediate pressure on just about every passing play. But when he did get the ball out, it was typically on target. There were no fewer than 3 key drops in that game against the Demon Knights. And I don't think any of those drops changed the result of that game. But I think the final score is far more respectable if those passes aren't dropped. This is a catch that James believes he should have made, and I think he would have paid for it. But if he catches that ball and feels the hit coming and immediately goes down, I think he's fine. And Thomas Roth, very wisely at the end of that play, not to be lost, he pulled up and did not hit James. That could have very easily been a hit on a defenseless receiver as well if he followed through.
And we've seen from time to time defenders doing that and giving their team costless penalty yards that gives the offense an opportunity to go down the field. So good heads-up play from Roth, as you mentioned. Now 2nd and 10 for Van Troy. He steps back. He's going to go deep down the left side. He's got his receiver. He's got the first down marker, and maybe just a little bit more. As he is not going to go down. They finally blow the play dead, but a good throw from Van Troy right there. He's going to get the first down reception try and see who the number is on the reception. Looks to be number 5, who we don't have on our roster, Joe, but he has made a big play in this game. He already has the fumble recovery on fumble forced on defense. Now makes a big reception there to get the first down.
Well, I think the big takeaway from that play, Nick, is that I'm not the only one who can't tell left from right. You called that left side. It's a running joke now here on PDF ever since the New York State Little League Baseball Championship. But all kidding aside, Van Troy once again gets the ball out quickly and on target. That one I'm sure didn't have the spiral he wanted, but he got it to his intended receiver, who once again is not on our roster. Nice job by Van Troy to get that ball out. And if the Legion can get the ball out like this through the passing game, might be a tough night for the Legion defensively.
And it looked like to be a curl flat that was on that last play, so a good throw from Van Troy. He takes a high snap here, and he has no play. Now the ball's out. And looking to see who has the recovery. I think it is on the Legion, Joe.
They certainly do.
And that was
recovered
number 8.
by Sergio Mencia. And that looked like trouble from the moment the ball was snapped. I think that was a speed option. The way the back was angled behind Van Troy made it appear as if he was an option to pitch the ball back. But with all the heavy traffic, there was never a chance. And he's definitely an option there. If Van Troy immediately decides to get rid of that football to his running back, I think the Bandits had something there. But once he kept it, he didn't have a firm grip on it, didn't secure it, and the Legion capitalized as Mencia comes out of that pileup with the recovery, and the Bandits already with a couple of key mistakes in this game. 2 turnovers, though. Do we count the special teams giveaway a turnover? That would be 3.
That's turnover.
That's 3.
And that was Danny Harris Jr. for the Legion that knocked the ball out. And he made a similar play like number 5 did for the Bandits with punching the ball out. And you spoke about it, Joe. It was looked to be a speed option play, a little bit of a high snap. Van Troy tried his best to make something out of nothing, and he just had no real estate to run. And now, once again, the Legion are on the Bandit side of the field, looking to take the lead once again. They'll have 1st and 10 here. Looks to also be maybe a quarterback change as well, as it looks like number 7, Chris Andrews, is now a quarterback for the Legion. And he handed it off on 1st down to number 2, Daewon Kind. So it's going to be ruled down at the 41-yard line. So it looks to be maybe about 2nd and maybe 4 yards coming up for the Legion.
And Nick, keep in mind, the Bandits have 3 turnovers officially in this game. They also threw a pick on the 2-point try when you were out of the booth.
Right.
So the Bandits have surrendered possession on 4 separate plays in this game.
I don't think they count in a turnover.
They don't count as a turnover, but they have surrendered possession. Right. I chose my words very carefully.
So now you got a 2nd and about 4 coming up. Chris Andrews is the quarterback. He's going to step back. Do have a lefty. He's going to throw it. There's no one there. It's going to be intercepted. The flag is down, Joe. Looks to maybe be pass interference on the Bandits.
That flag right around the line of scrimmage. It's a hold on the offense.
It's a holding, so that's an even better case scenario for the Bandits. As long as that ball was possessed in bounds and he got both feet down, that's going to be another turnover force by this Bandits defense. And that's a clear as day interception.
And I thought maybe they might get the Bandits for a shove along the sideline, but
I think that's what the Legion were looking to see what's called.
I think so. But once they didn't get that call, that pass didn't have a chance.
I'm not sure, Joe. Is this maybe the first time we've seen a lefty, at least from my point of vantage, a lefty quarterback thrown here in the EFA? And Andrews just had no chance on that one, throwing it down the left sideline, and he just was looking for that pass interference. It wasn't called on the play, leading to an easy interception for the Bandits defense.
So I have to ask our engineer and producer, Dave. He can give me a nod if he knows. Was David Ugarte a lefty? I think he is too. I think David Ugarte might be a lefty. He played in the EFA last year for the Gators. I think he's a lefty. As you'll get a look at that interception, that's certainly a good INT. And the Bandits will take over on offense.
That was
Jason
Jason
Tyler
on the interception. We've seen him already a couple times tonight. And a good job by him to at least get his feet down in bounds to get the interception forced. And now his team's going to start from the 21-yard line. So both teams have been making mistakes early on in this game, Joe. And it's really going to come down to, at this rate, which team can avoid making those mistakes in the second half. It's going to be a lot to talk about for both of these sides going into their break with a score of currently 6-6.
So much for protecting the football, Nick.
Right.
We highlighted it during the pregame. Haven't seen much of that. 2 turnovers by the Legion, 3 turnovers by the Bandits. The Bandits threw an interception on a 2-point conversion that very easily could have been run back. It was returned to about the 40 or 45-yard line.
So now Fantroy comes back out on offense, looking for another good drive here after the fumble. He'll throw it. A ball is tipped at the line, and it's going to be ruled down incomplete.
Well, that's one way to slow down the passing game. If you have a tough time staying with the receivers for the Bandits, get your hands up at the line of scrimmage. You know the ball is probably coming out quickly. That's been the case on most of Fantroy's dropbacks this year. And on that last pass, the Legion do a good job to swat it and ensure that it falls incomplete.
It looked to be another curl flag that the Bandits were trying to call on that play. And a good swat at the line for the Legion got them that incompletion, now forcing it to be 2nd and 10. Been a very up and down game so far in the first half here. Fantroy will come back out in shotgun. Once again, 2 receivers to his right and to his left. 2nd and 10. Legion does show him blitz. A high snap again, and Fantroy barely is able to get the ball back and hold on to it. And that was almost another turnover for the Bandits here, Joe. Now, it's going to be 3rd and very long coming up for them here.
Nick, I have never seen anything like that covering football in my life. That ball was snapped high. We've seen that before. It looked like all 5 Legion defensive linemen were in the backfield on top of Fantroy.
They've been blitzing the last couple plays, and when you have issues at quarterback, I shouldn't say at quarterback, but with snapping the ball.
Look at this.
It's a great job by Fantroy to get the ball at least, and if he does not go down immediately, Joe, that's going to be another turnover right there forced by the Legion defense.
If that doesn't speed up the clock in a quarterback's head, I don't know what does, because all 5 players on the Legion defensive line were in the backfield within 1 second of the snap. Look at this. We need the telestrator.
Right. And I think now if you're the Legion or the Bandits, they're going to come out another shotgun here, play on 3rd down. I'll make my point in a second. Fantroy is in pressure again. He stays on his feet, but he's going to finally get ruled down. That's going to be a sack for the Legion defense, and that's going to now make it 4th and very long on this play. The point I was going to bring up, Joe, before that play started was if you're the Bandits at this point with some issues at center with your snapping, do you maybe try to go under center to try to at least get a quicker option to throw the football? In this spot, you see right there, Fantroy just had no time in the pocket, had to roll up, and he could just not go anywhere. And that was Danny Harris Jr. once again, who had the forced fumble on the previous possession, getting the sack there on 3rd down to make it now 4th and very long for this Bandits offense.
You have to like the adjustment from the Legion coaching staff here. They've decided after a couple of completions on the last drive, we are not allowing the Bandits to throw the football. If they're going to drop back and look to pass, if they're going to pass out of the shotgun, we are going to blitz. We challenge you to get the ball out. On that drive, the Bandits could not get the ball out, and Fantroy paid the price.
And now we have a timeout on the field called by the Bandits here in the second half, and they're in a dangerous spot right now, Joe. They've already had some issues snapping the football. Now you're in a spot where one bad snap could lead to either a safety potentially for the Legion forced or maybe a touchdown. So this is a dangerous spot on the field for the Bandits coming up here on this punt on 4th down.
And they have to be very careful, as you said, Nick, in this spot. And even in the realm of blocking, we've seen the snaps go a bit high. Obviously, Fantroy was able to pull it down. You'll see it right here. That's a great job.
One hand.
Yeah, I mean, they're lucky that the pressure didn't get there a moment sooner. And if he doesn't secure that quickly, as you said, that almost certainly ends up as a turnover.
And if he doesn't get a hand on it, that could be an easy scoop and score for that Legion defense.
Well, he certainly wasn't taken by surprise when the pressure arrived, because once he had his eyes up on the football, he had to see the protection give way quickly. But the Bandits have to be sure that their blocking is on point ahead of this punt. Otherwise, the Legion could pick this one up in the end zone for 6.
Look where they're positioning the punt from. Pretty much just outside of the end zone, around the 1 yard line. Has to be a good snap for the Bandits here. Do get a good snap. Kick is almost blocked. And it is going to take a good, decent bounce for the Legion here. It's going to be returned. A chance for number 5, Tramel Williams, who's now being the punt returner. And he's going to be ruled down at the 40-yard line. So not a bad punt for the Bandits there. Took a little bit of a bounce towards the end for the Legion, and Williams was able to get it to the 40-yard line. So once again, Joe, the Legion will have good field position coming up on this drive, trying to regain the lead here in the first half.
Not a bad punt at all by Omar DeBerry. If he's not left-footed, there's a chance that's blocked. I think being left-footed spared him a potential punt block in that spot, but the Bandits will certainly take it. A good run back as well by Williams. Outran his blocking a bit as well. I think Williams making that decision to reverse field toward the far sideline was a good one. It gave his blocking a chance to get set a bit and bought him a few extra yards, but the Bandits contained the return man fairly well. And a lot of the time, when you punt from very deep in your own territory, if you tell the team punting the football that your opponent will take over at the 40, you'd probably take that, because placing these punts precisely and kicking them straight out of bounds doesn't always go as you planned. I think that turned out fairly well for the Bandits given the situation.
And then we saw Williams originally was the quarterback for the Legion in this game. Now it is Chris Andrews for the second straight drive. Did throw an interception his last time out. Williams is on the field as well for the Legion offense here on 1st and 10 from the Bandits' 39-yard line. Just a rough start for these both offenses, but the Legion could certainly take advantage of short field. Andrews goes back. He'll throw it to his left, and he's going to get a receiver. Caught for the first down. Has a chance to go to the end zone, and that's going to be another touchdown for the Legion. Number 12, Sadiq Nathaniel, with his second touchdown of the game, giving the Legion now a 12-6 lead here in the first half.
Well, a couple of things I'd like to highlight from that play. First and foremost, that ball from Andrews, on time, on target. That pass had some zip on it, but look in the backfield. Marquise Randolph picks up the blitzer there off the edge. That made that play. If he doesn't make that block, that throw does not happen. And there's a chance that they get Andrews tackled from the blind side, and that's always a very risky situation. Nicely done blocking by Randolph. A great throw from Andrews. And, of course, Sadiq Nathaniel with his second touchdown.
And that's a great point, Joe, from Randolph's perspective to get that block, because if he does not make that block, that's an opportunity for the Bandits to force a potential fumble on that play. So for him to pick up the block, give his quarterback some time, and find his wide receiver, Nathaniel, who's now scored for the second time today. And Nathaniel did a great job. Immediately as he caught the ball, turned upfield, put on the Jets, and got into the end zone for the second time tonight to give his team now a 12-6 lead as they look to get a 2-point conversion to give them an 8-point lead. Andrews is going to be alone in the backfield. Now it's going to be Williams that will be in motion. Now him in the backfield. A high snap and miscommunication. Andrews didn't know where the ball was. Thankfully for him, he's able to see that the defender was running back with the ball, Joe, and he makes the tackle, saving a conversion from happening for the Bandit side. Another Aubrey snap in this game. Its score remains 12-6.
Well, Nick, I think that was meant to be a direct snap to Tramel Williams, and it didn't go as planned. It did not go as planned.
Did not.
That was definitely an attempt at a fake or a deke by Chris Andrews to make the defense think he had the football. Well, he lost the football. I think it hit him in the backside, and the Bandits were able to recover. That didn't go as the Legion planned there. These 2-point conversion plays have been a bit suspect early in this one. We had an interception, a botched snap, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Sadiq Nathaniel. We know him from the AAL2, a member of the AAL2 champion Jersey Bearcats team that we cover in the spring. We will certainly be back this spring to cover the Bearcats and the rest of the AAL2. We look very much forward to that. Hit the road for their championship game. Bearcats knocked off the Steel City Stampede in the AAL2 championship.
Certainly will be some fun times on the PDF Sports Network in the next couple of months. As we mentioned, we are just a couple weeks away from the EFA's championship game. Playoffs starting in 2 weeks as well. The championship game will be here at Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle. Now a 12-6 lead for the Legion after that previous touchdown for Nathaniel, as they look to hold on to this lead here in the first half.
The PDF Sports Network is pulling double duty tonight. We are over at the Bridgewater Sports Arena covering Rockets Hockey Club on Flow Hockey. Unfortunately, no audio, courtesy of Flow Hockey.
I know you've had some comments on your own time with Flow Hockey, but
we've had our technical issues.
We have had our technical issues. Number 5 returned the kickoff to around the 46-yard line. There was a flag thrown late after that play, so we'll see what the call on the field is.
Doesn't seem like either side is very upset yet. Usually it's pretty obvious who the flag is on at the end of a play. Not so on this one.
And it's going to be another block in the back. And this time it's going to be on the Bandits. So they had a decent return, getting near just a little bit outside of midfield. Now that's going to back them up 15 yards and now place the ball at the 30-yard line for their next possession upcoming here in this first half.
And, Nick, I think a very fair question in this game as we play on, we presume, late in the second quarter. Can either of these teams, we presume, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Can either of these teams sustain a drive the length of the field?
Well, the issue for both sides has been their turnover issues, especially on the Bandit side in terms of their inability to snap the ball right now. That's something that's very concerning for the rest of this first half, because if they still have this issue going on for the rest of the game, it's going to be really tough to come back into this one trailing 12-6. Their only points of this game coming off of special teams so far. Their offense looking to try to do something here in the end of this first half to try to tie the game, but they really need a strong possession right here. See what Fantroy can do on 1st and 10 from his own 30-yard line. Once again, setting up with 2 wide receivers to both sides. And again, Joe, the pressure just was immediately there, had no chance. Tried to step up in the pocket. He goes down for a loss of 2 yards to make it 2nd and 12.
Spoke about it during the pregame, Nick. These two teams needed to pass protect, and that just hasn't been there early in this game. The Legion got a big pass block from their back on that touchdown catch by Nathaniel, and at the time I highlighted how big of a play that was in the moment. That was an important play in this game by Randolph, the halfback. And the Bandits did get a block from their own running back here. That was Anthony Berrios, who picked up his man. Unfortunately, Van Troy was forced to step up, and he stepped up straight into a sack.
And now another one for this Legion defense, leading it to be 2nd and 12 here on this drive. Another high snap. Van Troy will throw it to his right. Does have his wide receiver, but a great tackle force and a lateral, Joe. How many times have we seen that? And a perfect lateral. That's going to give them the first down.
We have a great view straight down the line at that lateral.
And the Bandits took a timeout, as we'll see a replay in a second. But you were saying about the laterals. We've seen a couple of those this season.
We got a great look at it, and we'll get a second look here. That was Dave Patterson making that call. I think he got it right. That looked like a lateral, and the way that the receiver was carrying the football, I was holding my breath. Tough to tell who that is with the jersey tucked in. That's so close, but I think it's a lateral.
They were almost,
not by much.
Just by a couple inches.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was close to the first down marker. They did give the Bandits the first down as they took that second timeout now. They have 1 remaining in the first half. But you're right, Joe. One bad throw of the lateral could either go either out of bounds in that spot, or if it stays in play, the Legion could easily scoop and score it for a touchdown. So laterals are certainly dangerous, but we've seen a couple of successful ones this season. And that was a nice successful one right there for the Bandits, giving them that first down here. We would assume near just a couple of minutes left in this first half.
Well, Nick, if that doesn't work and the Legion scoop and score there, that could be ball game. These two teams, when they've played one another, have played a lot of very close games. Those games have not been high scoring. I'm not sure that either side has scored 3 times in any of the games that we've covered here on PDF between these two teams. Or I shouldn't say between these two teams, but games that these two teams have played in. I don't think any games we've covered whether it be a Bandits game or a Legion game, has seen one of these two teams score 3 times. In the head-to-head meetings, I don't think any games in the last 2 years have seen one of the teams score 3 times.
Well, we'll see if the Bandits can score here before the end of the first half and tie the game. Van Troy once again will be in the shotgun with 2 receivers to both sides of his field. He steps up in the pocket. He's going to throw it deep. Does have a receiver, but it's underthrown and intercepted by the Legion.
Glover has another one if it stands, but there's a flag in the offensive backfield, which would indicate holding, and it's roughing the passer against the Legion.
That's a killer for this Legion defense.
I doubt we'll get a second look at it since the ball was in flight, but maybe we could see the incoming defender as the ball was released, and you said it, Nick. That's a backbreaker for the Legion, who had forced yet another Bandits turnover.
You see Fancher takes the snap. He steps up in the pocket, and you see it right there, Joe, at the end of it. There was a late hit on the quarterback. That was number 72, Jordan Springsteed, on the hit, and that's a backbreaker for this Legion defense. They force another turnover, and now they give the Bandits another opportunity, keeping the drive going, giving them a first down.
I think the positive from that play, if you're the Bandits, not only is the penalty, but that might be the best pass protection Fantroy has gotten all game. He was able to step up into a relatively clean pocket. Springstead came in late and hit him. He was on his way in before the ball was released, but he definitely had a moment to ease up, and that's not easy to do when you're a big man, but unfortunately that's a call that will go against you every time as a defender.
And another good thing for the Bandits is that Fantroy is still in the game because he did take a shot at the end of that play and was able to at least get the throw down the field. Was thrown into double coverage and picked off, but the penalty negates it and now gives the Bandits a first down on the opponent's side at the 45-yard line of the Legion here in this first half. Can the Bandits now make New York pay for it with that roughing the passer call? Fantroy in the shotgun, another high snap. He'll have to scramble. He's going to throw it deep. Has 2 receivers in that vicinity, but again, it's intercepted by the Legion defense, and now it's going to be returned on the play. That was number 24, Danny Devukai. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, if I pronounce it wrong.
I believe it's Devakaj.
Devakaj. I apologize for that. But he gets the nice return all the way to around the 34-yard line. And, Joe, another situation for Fantroy where another high snap, had to step up in the pocket, and he threw it down the field. But unfortunately for him right there, he throws it into a scenario where there's 3 Legion defenders right there, 3-on-2. All the time you're going to win that battle. And the Legion forced the turnover here, another one forced here in this first half.
And I think, Nick, we may have reached halftime with that play because
that was a Hail Mary play at the end of the half.
The Bandits called timeout on that sideline pass. That was the final play of the first half. So the roughing the passer call doesn't prove consequential. The Bandits do keep possession, but a Hail Mary then results in a pick. And if my tally is correct, Nick, we had 6 turnovers in that first half.
4 on the side of the Bandits, not including that interception on the 2-point conversion, and then 2 on the side of the Legion. So both teams have definitely made their mistakes in this first half from Joseph F. Facina Field, but it's only a 1-possession game going into halftime as the Legion will go into the half with the 12-6 lead. We'll be back here at the PDF Sports Network for the second half of this one between the Legion and the Bandits here at Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle. More to come, more upcoming here on PDF.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com. Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
Joe Foreman rejoining you from Joseph F. Facina Field for the PDF Sports Network as we remain at halftime of this Elite Football Alliance Week 11 matchup. The Legion leading the Bandits by a score of 12-6. The Legion getting both of their scores on Sadiq Nathaniel touchdown receptions. The first caught from Tremel Williams. The second caught from Chris Andrews. Here's a look at the first of the two touchdowns. There you see Williams going up. The defender did not have his eyes on the ball in time, and that was the difference on that play, as it looked like the corner for the Bandits was in position to make a play on that football. We then had the second touchdown for Nathaniel. It was on what looked to be a comeback pattern along the sideline, perhaps even a simple curl route, and the Bandits just unable to make the tackle. The nearest defender was Jason Tyler, but the Legion typically haven't gotten the ball out that quickly. That was a timing pattern. Andrews hit his receiver on time, pass on target, a lot on that ball as well. Touchdown Legion. That put them ahead, but we'll get a look at the play that put the Bandits on the board as well, a big kickoff return. This made the score 6-6. Along the sideline, we thought perhaps the return man may have stepped out. It was awfully close. If you watch the feet right there, you may have gotten a look at it, but I think the officials made the right call, allowing that play to continue. Touchdown Bandits, and that is our scoring summary for the first half. So once again, this is Joe Foreman. On play-by-play tonight is Nick Bavona. He will rejoin me on the call for the second half when we come back here on the PDF Sports Network. More from Week 11 of the Elite Football Alliance. Legion over the Bandits, 12-6 at halftime.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
And we're back here from Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle for the PDF Sports Network. It's a 12-6 lead for the Legion here. Just about to start the second half of this one. And, Joe, we saw in the first half a lot of turnovers between both sides. 2 from the Legion, 4 from the Bandits. And the lone scorer of this game, you spoke about it during our halftime show. Kickoff return for the Bandits. The Legion took advantage of an interception from Van Troy, got a touchdown for Sadiq Nathaniel, and then on a curl route, he was able to get his second touchdown of the first half to give his team the 12-6 lead. For the Bandits side, what can they look to do in the second half to try to fix the mistakes that they've had in that first half? We saw a lot of bad snaps leading to a couple of sacks for that Legion defense and leading to some of those turnovers.
I think if they can find some balance on the offensive side of the football, that's a great start. Early in the game, they tried to run the ball quite a bit. It was all ground game. Late in that first half, it was all passing game. Flip it quickly.
So the kickoff return was a squib kick forced by the Legion, and it's going to get to the 42-yard line. So that's an interesting spot for the Bandits right there, as the Legion elected to kick it short and give the Bandits the field position instead of kicking it off. And obviously we saw a kickoff return already happen for the Bandits. So they're okay with their defense with this short field, trying to force another potential turnover or getting a stop here to get the offense the ball back.
Big possession here for the Bandits offense. Trailing by a score, they take over in Legion territory. They need to make something of this possession at the very least, as you said. They don't score, they can pin them back.
And this really could be a make-or-break drive as well, because having this short field and you're not able to score could really hurt the momentum for the rest of this game for this Bandits offense. So they really need to figure it out, as we got a little bit of a feedback from Joe's blunder. I don't know if I want to call it a blunder.
Commentator's jinx, Nick. You said it during halftime.
I did. And we had some movement on the line, immediate flags going up on the field. And I have to think that's going to be a false start on the Bandits offense. And that's exactly the call. So Bandits did get the short field, but now they get pushed back 5 yards. So it'll be first and 15 correction from now the 46-yard line.
Well, they started in Legion territory, Nick, but they moved back 5.
They're still in Legion's territory.
They are still in,
but
they can't afford to move backwards again.
Right. Cannot afford another high snap here. It's now first and 15 after the penalty. Deep shot down the right sideline, and almost a touchdown for the Bandits right there. Jason Tyler, the new quarterback for the Bandits on that one, throwing it down the right sideline. And he had a man, Joe, had to step as well. That could have been an easy touchdown for this Bandits offense. And unfortunately, it does not go their way. Now second and long.
And Nick, the drop issues continue. That was a perfect ball from Tyler. He did everything right on that play. His receiver got open. The receiver did everything right until right here. Now, that ball was kind of fading and bleeding toward the sideline a bit, but that's a catch that has to be made. No question.
And for Tyler, he took a shot on that play as well. So the wherewithal to throw the football while taking that shot and get it down the sideline. But you're absolutely right. That's a catch that has to be made, especially in a spot where you're down a touchdown and you have pretty much all room to run after you make the catch. And unfortunately for the Bandits, it did not go their way. So now after the incompletion now leads to second and 15. Looked to be almost another false start. It's going to be Tyler on the scramble. He's going to get a couple yards, and he's going to be out of bounds at around, it looks to be the 30-yard line. It's going to be enough for a Bandit first down. So a good job by Tyler. As he saw the pressure coming, he got to his left and was able to run, and he gets all the way to the 30-yard line. That's about maybe an 18-yard carry on the play. A huge first down for this Bandits team.
And that's one way to counter the blitz from the Legion. If they don't blitz a defensive back out at the slot and Tyler is able to break, contain, he's off to the races because the Legion defensively or in man coverage across the board, that lends itself to the quarterback taking off and carrying the football, and that's exactly what Tyler did on that last play. It worked out pretty well for him as he picks up a big gain and a first down, and all of a sudden, Nick, the Legion are at, or I should say the Bandits are at the Legion 30-yard line. 2 New York teams makes it a bit tough. I can't say New York.
Exactly. I said it earlier, and I had to correct myself in that scenario. So now, with that last carry from Tyler, it now puts his team at the 30-yard line of the Legion, looking to get just a little bit outside of the red zone as they try to tie this game at 12. The 1st and 10. Tyler is in the shotgun. And a lot of movement, and flag on the field. It's going to be a free play. Tyler will throw it to the end zone, has his receiver, and it does not get to the end zone, but it is caught inside the 5, down at the 4. And that is going to be a first down. So decline the penalty for the Bandits. And now, Joe, their biggest play of the night now gets them 4 yards away from getting their first offensive touchdown of the night and potentially tying this game.
Blocked by Anthony Berrios in the backfield. Nice job playing through the whistle. Great job on the throw as well by Jason Tyler and Nick. Just 4 or 5 plays into his tenure at the quarterback position. It's abundantly clear he's injected some life into this New York Bandits offense. I think the extra dimension of being able to take off and run with the football certainly helps, but the first 3 passes he's attempted have all looked really good, and the Legion want to talk this one over as the Bandits have marched straight down the field.
Yeah, and I think another scenario, Joe, is you saw number 1 on that play also having to come back to the ball and make the catch. And that's a great opportunity, a great job by him to get back there and catch the ball. It looked originally like the ball was going to go into the end zone on that throw. Just a little bit underthrown from Tyler to get it into the end zone. But great wherewithal to find his receiver, get the completion. And now they're on the goal line. They're 1st and goal at the 4. And as you mentioned, the Legion taking a timeout, looking to fix the mistakes they've had on defense their past 2 plays as they try to preserve this lead.
Well, if you watch on that replay, at least 2 or 3 Legion defenders stopped playing at the whistle. And that certainly impacted things as Tyler took the snap, was able to roll out, escape the pressure, and then survey his options. And finally, if you're the Bandits, you're able to make one of those receptions down the field. We've seen several interceptions, a couple of drops, and the Bandits finally come through with a big catch that takes them down near the goal line in a goal-to-go situation from the 4.
So we'll see Jason Tyler once again set up in shotgun. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for the Bandits. They look to tie this game at 12. Almost another neutral zone, and they're going to call it. It's going to be another free play for the Bandits. It's going to be Tyler on the scramble. He has the end zone. He has the touchdown. Jason Tyler once again avoiding the pressure and getting into the end zone. Great job to keep himself in bounds. And despite that, there was a flag on the field. It was neutral zone once again on the Legion. Penalty will be declined. And, Joe, we now have a tie game. It's 12-12.
How about that for the first drive of the second half if you're the Bandits? Tyler simply outrunning the pressure, and the Legion might have to send a blitz from a defensive back spot in order to contain him. I'm not sure a quarterback spy is going to be enough, but the way Tyler has thrown the football, even taking a player out of coverage is a victory for the Bandits on the offensive side of the ball. If there's one less player in the secondary for the Legion in pass coverage, that opens up some more passing lanes for Tyler, who's shown he's very capable at throwing the football. On that last play, he shows off his ability to carry the football, wins the foot race to the sideline, and up the sideline into the end zone for a Bandits touchdown.
And to think the changing of quarterbacks has worked so far for the Bandits here in the second half. Started off with Mike Fantroy. Now Jason Tyler here in the second half ties the game with that previous rushing touchdown. Can he give his team the lead here on the 2-point conversion? And once again, another neutral zone. Tyler's going to have to scramble once again. He's got some blockers, doesn't really have much room to run. And he stays up, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. It looked like Tyler was going to be brought down and not going to be able to get into the end zone, but he evaded the tackle, got into the end zone for the 2 points, and Joe, the Bandits have now taken the lead 14-12.
Nick, I think it's fair to say that in just a few short plays, Jason Tyler moving to the quarterback position for the New York Bandits has completely changed this game. Once again, the Legion defense gambling, trying to jump the snap, and we can't hear it from up here, but you have to think that Tyler is utilizing a hard count. These Bandits defensive linemen have been jumping from all different positions, especially on that last drive. We've seen some neutral zone infractions and offsides calls throughout the game, but most of those have gone against the Bandits. On that last drive, the Legion guilty on several occasions, and the Bandits taking full advantage as Tyler scrambles in for the 2-point conversion. You can't ask for much more in just a few plays at quarterback from the new signal caller for the Legion, or for the Bandits, I should say.
It's always tough for those New York teams, as you said.
We'll get there.
I think another good thing is we always talk about momentum, Joe, and how the tides have turned now here in the second half with that quarterback change. We saw Fantroy in the first half. He was throwing a lot in that shotgun going down the field, or at least trying to get down the field, but didn't have much time in the pocket. Now going to this type of style with Tyler, where he's more of a scrambling type of quarterback, and he's been able to evade a couple of defenders from the Legion and get those rushing guards. We saw the big first down play after they got backed up on the penalty. Then he got into the end zone to tie the game. And then you saw in that previous 2-point conversion, able to once again get into the end zone. And he's the reason now this team is now up 14-12.
Here's another look at that 2-point conversion. And
that was the touchdown.
You're right. That is the touchdown. But nonetheless, the footwork and scrambling ability on full display on both the touchdown and the 2-point try. We saw Tyler beat defenders to the edge on both. Here's the 2-point conversion.
One where he had to change fields. It was going to his right and then going to his left, seeing all of the defenders from the Legion. And like I said, it looked like he was going to be brought down originally around the 5-yard line, and he was able to avoid that tackle, stay up on his feet, and get into the end zone for the 2-point try. And the Bandits now have the lead, looking, as we mentioned in the pregame, Joe, for their first win since 2021. So how big momentum that could be for the Bandits going into their playoff game against the Bears if they can get this win tonight.
That would be big for them. And going back to your point on the 2-point try, the Legion did have a chance to bring down Tyler at the 5. That was James Perrineau Jr. on the attempted tackle.
This will be Villanueva on the kickoff return for the Legion. And he's going to be ruled down around midfield. So we've seen a couple times in this game, Joe, the Legion have had some great field position to give their offense a chance to get some points. It's been very on and off for this offense tonight so far. But once again, they'll have decent field position coming up, trying now to regain the lead after getting up that touchdown and 2-point conversion.
If you look back at the starting field position on the scoring drives, the Legion took over inside the 20 and scored. The Bandits scored on a kick return. The Bandits started that last scoring drive at the Legion 40, and then the Legion's second scoring drive came off of another Bandits turnover, if I'm not mistaken, and that started at about, I think, the 40 as well, that late first half touchdown. I think that drive started at the 40 as well. So neither team has scored with starting field position on their own side of midfield.
So now you got a 1st and 10 from midfield coming up for the Legion. And now, Joe, for the first time tonight, they are trailing in this game, trying to get back on top, as they'll need a big spark on offense here. Once again, Chris Andrews is now the quarterback for this team. We saw her throw a touchdown to Sadiq Nathaniel in that second quarter. So maybe look for Nathaniel here on first down. We did see a lot of running also from the Legion to start off this game. Inside carry here. It's going to be about a gain of 2 as they picked up the running back there.
With a lead now, I'm curious to see how the approach defensively might change for the Bandits. Early in this game, we saw the Legion handing the ball off quite a bit, and down around the goal line, the Bandits shored up defensively and made sure they couldn't do that on every down.
That was Daquan Villanueva on the carry right there. He gets about 3 yards on the play to make it 2nd and 7, but this is now unfamiliar territory for the Legion tonight, as now they trail in this game. The Bandits now have all the momentum going towards them right now, and for the Legion, they have to get something going on offense on this drive. Cannot afford another turnover as well, otherwise the Bandits will have an opportunity to make it a 2-possession game. So we'll see what Chris Andrews and company can do here now on 2nd and 7. He'll hand it off once again inside, but just not much room to run for Villanueva. So it looks like maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage.
3 Bandits stopping him right around the line of scrimmage, and
they're going to give him a loss of 1.
Yeah, the Bandits' run defense, outside of that one play where they ultimately forced a fumble, has been solid in this game. They haven't allowed much on the ground outside of that one carry that resulted in a turnover, and now you really prove your worth as a quarterback. We saw Andrews make a nice throw on an early down last drive. It's now 3rd and about 6 or 7 for the Legion offense here.
And you have to think, if you're the Bandits defense, you're going to want to make sure that Sadiq Nathaniel is not the one that catches this ball here on 3rd down. So after the loss on 2nd down, now 3rd down, low snap for Andrews. He scrambles to his left. He throws it on the run. It's going to be incomplete. Looking for Vaughn Gooding on that one, but just could not get the completion. Gooding also took a good shot as he was trying to make that catch, and it's now 4th down.
I think Gooding had a chance. It was going to be a tough catch. The ball was a bit behind him, but I think Andrews did him a favor placing that ball there because he had a defender out in front of him that was getting prepared to put a big hit on him if he caught that ball in stride. So I think Andrews put that ball in the only spot where Gooding had a chance to catch it, and Gooding couldn't make the adjustment on that pass in flight. And now it looks like the Legion will keep their offense out there and go for it on 4th down and 6. And if the Bandits can come up with a stop here, the momentum rests firmly with them playing on their home field with a lead in the second half. You can't ask for much more if you're the Bandits. The Legion hope to avoid finding themselves in that position.
And I think something to look out for on this next play. Do the Legion maybe try to get the Bandits to jump offside to make it about 4th and short on this play? We'll see what they do. And that's exactly what happened, Joe. It's a free play. Andrews just throws the ball into the ground. But that's exactly what the Legion do. They force the neutral zone infraction. Now it makes it 4th and about 1. So a very more
against
manageable.
The Legion, Nick. That's against the Legion, I believe. The Bandits certainly think so. The officials will discuss it. And I'll tell you, Nick, the entire defensive line for the Bandits was in the backfield. And that's on the center. I think that's on the center for the Legion.
It's either the center or the left guard. Number 91 did move just a bit early. That was Tevin Hall on that play. And it looked like he jumped up for a second. You'll see a second look at it, Joe. That's the left guard, and you see it right there. He is moving beforehand.
You're right, that is the left guard.
So
the tight end was on the outside of the line to the left. That's the left guard.
So that's now big because now if they do call this on the Legion, which it should be the right call, that might force the Legion to punt the ball in this spot because it's going to be on the other side of the territory.
They called it on the Bandits, Nick.
That's one. If you're the Bandits, you've got to be not happy about that one. So the Legion now do get that neutral zone infraction they were looking for, and it's going to be 4th and short.
That's a tough call. On the replay, I thought for sure that call would go against the Legion.
And that was the Bandits' case. They were saying that Hall jumped. And on the replay, it did look like he jumped first. So now, because of the neutral zone, it's going to be 4th and 1. So a chance for the Legion here to convert and keep the drive going. They have Villanueva move in motion. You got to believe he'll maybe get the handoff here on this 4th and short situation. And they're going to throw it. And the pass is going to be caught. It's going to be a 1st down. And once again, Joe, another big reception for Sadiq Nathaniel. And they fooled me on that one. You think on 4th and short they would run the ball in that spot. But Andrews with a quick throw, throwing it back to his left and finding his wide receiver Nathaniel for a huge 4th down conversion.
I don't like to play armchair quarterback or Monday morning quarterback, but I knew there was no chance of running that ball, Nick. The way the Bandits have committed defensively to the run, that's way too big of a risk, I think. And the way Andrews has thrown it, if he's able to get the ball out quickly on a timing pattern like that, I like the Legion's chances of converting in that spot, and they do. But I think the Bandits defensively are going to sell out on the run until the Bandits offense gives them a reason to do otherwise.
So now we'll see Andrews here on 1st and 10 from the Legion, or the Bandits' 36-yard line. He'll throw it deep down the left sideline, a bit underthrown and intercepted. Andrews got hit as he threw. The ball was underthrown as he was looking for Nathaniel again. And the Bandits will force another turnover, and they will get the ball right back.
And you get the feeling, Nick, that the Bandits sideline is beginning to sense it. They are closing in on their first on-field victory in a couple of years. That ball well underthrown, as you said, but I'm not sure that's the man that he would have wanted to throw it to there. It looked like Williams had an opening up the seam, and instead the ball went to the outside receiver. That was Nathaniel.
That's the end of the third quarter. And on that throw, Joe, you saw it. Before we saw the throw from Andrews, the pressure was there. He had to make a quick reaction to the throw, and you're absolutely right. That probably was not his first intention, but with that pressure forced on you, he had to make a quick decision on that one, and unfortunately for him, it was not the decision that the Legion needed, as now they go into the fourth quarter trailing by 2 points, and now the Bandits have the football.
If you told the Legion that you'd be trailing to start the fourth quarter with the Bandits possessing the football, I think it's safe to bet they would have been alarmed by that idea, and that's the position they find themselves in right now. As we get set to begin the fourth quarter, the two teams switch sides. The Bandits will take over from their own 18 or 19-yard line, and I think the good news for the Legion in this spot is that interception kind of serves as a sort of punt. Obviously, you didn't want to punt the football there, but neither team has shown the ability to drive the length of the field to a score. Somewhere along the way, there's been a miscue that results in a turnover or a sack that really sets you back and forces you into a third down and long. And the Bandits, I think, on their last drive, showed as many signs as we could hope for that they might be able to break that trend of drives that stall out at some point, typically around the 40-yard line midfield. But if the Bandits score here, a 2-point conversion makes this a two-possession game. Keep in mind, if the Bandits do score a touchdown, trailing by 8, the Legion would still be within one score. The 2-point try becomes massive if the Bandits are able to punch it in for 6.
And what's massive now for the Legion on this play, they really need a stop after what Jason Tyler did to them on that previous drive. Was big with his legs, getting his team on top and in the lead. He'll step back, a quick throw to his right, and we're gonna have now Joey's gonna go in a different direction from left to right, and there's just not much room to run. So that's gonna be a loss of maybe 5 yards on the play, and that was a situation where it had to be a quick throw from Tyler, and there was just too many Legion defenders on the right-hand side of the field, and they had to redirect themselves to go to the left side of the field. But again, there was just nowhere to run. Good job by this Legion defense to not give up a big play for the Bandits, and the loss now makes it 2nd and long.
You don't see that too often. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Legion defenders were chasing the receiver along the far sideline. The receiver then works his way all the way back across the field to the near side. Great spot. They got a nice spot out of it.
It did. Ball's going to be rolled down at the 16-yard line. So it looked to be maybe a 6-7 yard loss now is only about a 4-yard loss.
They got 2 bonus yards on that one.
So now 2nd and about 13 on this play. Tyler will go back, does have pressure. He's going to have to run away, and he has no chance on that one. He's going to get down the backfield, and now it'll be 3rd and very long coming up for the Bandits. Once again, Joe, this Legion pass rush has been really giving the Bandits offensive line a nightmarish game as they get another sack forced to make it 3rd and long coming up.
A lot of Legion players getting through once again. Thomas Roth among them. Also in the backfield, Timothy Mazzaros. And there you see it, Roth with the interior pressure up the middle. Mazzaros initially creating some chaos in the backfield. He came around the edge. He was ushered into the offensive backfield beyond the quarterback, but his presence forced Tyler to step up. And there he was met by several more Legion defenders. And Nick, I posed the question ahead of this drive, how could these teams handle 3rd and very long? This is very, very long, and the Legion appear poised to get the ball back. They have to avoid a costly penalty or a defensive breakdown here on 3rd and 20.
Or even another high snap, which you haven't seen as of late for them.
The Bandits hope to avoid that. The Legion
Right.
defensively have to watch out for
Right.
the big penalty.
3rd and long. Tyler once again in pressure, and again he's going to go down. Another sack for this Legion defense, and it's going to force 4th and long. And where they're currently at in the field, Joe, now this is going to have to be a very quick punt for the Bandits because now one already play, and if it's a long punt attempt, it could lead to a blocked opportunity for this Legion special teams unit.
And on the sack, Dylan LaCroix, also a pressure applied on that play by Danny Harris Jr. And you said it well, Nick. This Legion defense came up huge on that drive. The pass rush, creating pressure, making sure that Tyler could not roll out. And if you're the Bandits, you have to be very careful towing the back line in the end zone. Look how close to Berry is. I mean, that is
as close as you can get on a punt.
That is giving a new meaning to in the shadow of your own goalposts.
And
he is literally in the shadow of the goalposts.
And think about this. One bad step will tie the game at 14 with the safety, so he has to be very careful on this attempt.
Wouldn't that be something?
It would certainly be something I've never seen. I've only seen the Dan Orlovsky play of him running into the end zone, but that's about it.
The Bandits don't want to one-up Dan Orlovsky in that area.
Or Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo did the same thing last year, too. I forgot about that as well.
Don't remind me. He's my team's quarterback now.
He is your team's quarterback. That is true.
Not sure if we had a timeout on the field. We did. It was a timeout called by the Bandits. They're going to talk this one over.
They got a lot to talk about on this play right here because you need a good, clean snap. You need a decent amount of time for your punter to get the ball away. We've seen the offensive line the last couple plays for the Bandits. They have not been able to get any, protection, and they really need protection on this upcoming play. Otherwise, could lead to a block. It could lead to either a safety being forced by the Legion or potentially the go-ahead score of this game.
We got to look at one sack by the Legion. Here's another. And on that play, it looked like the Legion only rushed 3.
And one name
with 2 spies.
And one name that we've seen a lot in this game, though, number 25, Danny Harris Jr., has been really big tonight for this Legion's pass rush. He's already forced a fumble. He's had now a couple sacks, almost had another one right there. And he forced the initial pressure on Tyler. And now, it looked like they were going to punt, Joe. They have the offense out here.
Can Tyler punt?
It could be. It could be. We'll have to see if he can. To snap, and he is going to punt. And, Joe, this takes a decent bounce in the terms of the Bandits. It's going to go down at the 30-yard line. It's going to actually be picked up. Darren Glover picked it up. That could have been almost disaster for the Legion. And now we have a flag on the field.
Nick, there is so much to unpack on that play. So much that I did not expect to see on that play. Tyler punted it basically straight up in the air. As you said, the Legion have to be a bit upset about that bounce. The Bandits got a great bounce. The punt was so high it left the frame.
It looked like it was going to be down at around the 23-yard line, and that bounce really gave them a couple extra yardage. And Glover, surprisingly, actually picked up the ball and tried to run it back, but he actually lost a couple yards in doing so. So with that now happening, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. We did see a flag on the field as well. Might be unsportsmanlike conduct, I had to think. It was in the area of the line of scrimmage.
I think this penalty went against the Legion. And if it did, that would back them up. Perhaps as far as the New York Bandits 49 if it was a personal foul, though it looks like it may have been offsetting fouls on the play.
I think there was unsportsmanlike on both sides of the field, leading to unsportsmanlike. So the Legion definitely catch a break because to not take advantage of this short field that they currently have now would be really bad considering you give up a penalty. So now they'll start this drive from the Bandits' 34-yard line. And Chris Andrews and company looking to redeem themselves after their previous drive. He'll hand it off here on 1st down, and they'll get a gain of about, looks to be, 5 yards on the play.
That was Randolph on the carry again. Nice burst up the middle, and Nick, I think we're back in a very similar situation to the one we were in on the last drive. I think the Legion will run the football until the Bandits force them to throw it. And the Bandits did force them to throw it on the last drive. It ultimately resulted in a turnover.
And another spot in the field where it's pretty much 4-down territory for the Legion. You're down 2 points. You're trying to keep yourselves within the game, but they really could use a huge play right here. Another inside handoff for Randolph. That's going to give his team enough for the first down.
And we'll see at what point the Bandits commit everything to stopping the run. Do the Legion have the guts to run a play-action pass here? Do they have confidence that they can protect long enough to run a play fake? Do you take that chance?
I think especially after how the first 2 plays have gone for them, I think you just stick to the running game for now, and maybe on second down, that's where you try and catch them on play action. But 2 straight good runs from Randolph now leads in first down at the 24-yard line for the Legion. They'll do another handoff right here. A little bit of a stumble and almost a big-time disaster for Randolph as he got kind of upended right there on the tackle. He'll get about 2 yards on the carry to make it second down.
Bit of a front flip at the end of that one.
Just a bit.
Not voluntary. But Randolph did a good job to hold on to the football, and the Legion continue to hand it off. They continue to move down the field. But, Nick, back to my point from the start of the half. Another drive starting in opponent's territory. Those have been the drives that have yielded points tonight. The Legion hope to capitalize once again.
They can really not afford to miss this chance right here in the fourth quarter. Andrews once again in shotgun here on 2nd and 8. Takes a snap, a low snap. He throws it to his left, but just a bit short of his intended wide receiver to now make it 3rd and 8.
Surprised they threw it, Nick. I think at some point they needed to, but I'm surprised it was there. It was 2nd down and 8, so it was 2nd and long. And if the Bandits sell out on the run, then obviously you could end up in a 3rd and long situation you're in anyway. But I think knowing that you have 4 downs changes the mindset, and even on 2nd and 8, I think they definitely considered a handoff in that spot at some point before the decision was ultimately made to throw the quick out.
And he did have his wide receiver on the play, Jamel Williams. He had an opportunity to get it to that sideline, but it was just a bit of a low throw for Andrews on the play. And now it leads to a big 3rd down in this spot, 3rd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Legion looking for a huge conversion to keep the drive going. Andrews takes a snap, quick throw, but overthrows his wide receiver, Khalid Miller. And you saw it right there, Joe. The Bandits forcing the pressure with an immediate blitz, and Andrews, again, we've seen it a couple times in this game, has had to make quick decisions with the football, try to get it to Miller on that play, but just oversails him. And now a big 4th down upcoming for the Legion.
It was there, Nick. It was there. It was just way overthrown. That looked like a post route over the middle. The center of the field was vacant. That ball's on target. Miller walks in for a touchdown.
So now, Joe, I'll ask you the question here. 4th and 8, you're the Legion. What do you set up on this play to try to get you the first down to continue the drive?
I think you have to try and make the most of the speed at the wide out position, deep cross. Try and get a one-on-one somewhere near the front corner of the end zone.
Andrews takes the snap with the pump fake. He throws it down the left sideline, but once again underthrows his wide receiver. And it looked like maybe miscommunication between him and I believe that was Sadiq Nathaniel on that play. And correction, that's actually Jamel Williams that was the intended receiver. So it looked to be miscommunication from both sides, and it's a turnover on downs. And how about this Bandits defense, Joe? We've talked about them tonight. They have made some big plays when needed it the most, and they forced a turnover on downs, considering that this drive started at their own at the Bandits' 34-yard line.
Well, they went with the corner route on that play, and they got the one-on-one they were looking for. I like the play call. The throw just wasn't there. It was a tight window, but Williams definitely had a step to the outside. It was going to need to be a good ball with a bit of zip on it because the window wasn't that large, but there certainly was an opportunity to complete that pass. I think a completion like that is a difficult one for a quarterback, but they ran the corner route to the left of the quarterback. Of course, Andrews is left-handed. That helps him. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough to get the Legion that completion. And now the Bandits with an opportunity to milk some time off the clock and potentially win their first game of the season, their first victory since 2021.
An excellent point, Joe. A chance for now the Bandits. They can milk a lot of clock on this drive, especially with the way Tyler's been running for them these last couple of drives. He takes a snap on first down. He will be the one to carry it, avoids the pressure on the outside, and he actually makes two of the Legion defenders tackle each other. And he gets a couple yards on the play. He'll be ruled down at the 26-yard line. So give him about maybe 4 yards on the play. Give it 2nd and 6 coming up for the Bandits.
Well, the Bandits will take it. That play looked to be ticketed for a loss with a tackle in the backfield when it started. But a nice recovery there by Tyler to make something out of nothing. And you said it, Nick. He forced 2 Legion players to tackle one another. And that's one that I'm sure the Legion will go back and look at on the defensive side of the ball. Not too happy with. If they win, They can laugh at it later. If they come up on the short end in this game, they definitely won't have any smiles looking at that play.
And I think one concerning thing for the Legion as this game goes on, once Tyler gets out of the pocket and scrambles, the Legion have had a tough time trying to tackle him in that open space. And with this game the way it is right now and the Bandits try to milk clock, that could be disaster for the Legion as this fourth quarter goes on. So now 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard carry from Tyler. He'll give it on the end around. And on the redirection, just nowhere to go. And it's going to be a loss on the play for the Bandits. Great tackle in the backfield right there. Now it makes it 3rd and about 9 upcoming for the New York Bandits here. They could really use a huge conversion.
I think it's a fair question to ask if you're the Bandits, Nick. Do you put this ball on the ground and put the game in the hands of your defense? Because we've seen in these situations throughout the game, 3rd and long, oftentimes these plays have resulted in turnovers or have come close to ending in turnovers. If you're the Bandits here, I think you have to be really careful. You can punt it away. Hopefully you punt it out of bounds, get the ball to about midfield, force the Legion to beat you with an offensive score. We'll see what they do here.
And I think for Tyler, it's of importance. If you're going to throw the football, make sure that there's someone there. You cannot give up another turnover in this spot. And a good play for the Legion, Jordan Springsteen made the tackle in the backfield to force a loss. So now 3rd and 9 after the play. Tyler takes the snap, does have one-on-one coverage. He throws, and like I was saying, Joe, he almost threw that one in to dangerous spot. It was almost intercepted, but thankfully for the Bandits, it gets swatted. It almost intercepted. It did fall after the swat, and now it makes it 4th and 9. That could have been even more disastrous for the Bandits right there.
Well, Nick, that was kind of you to say he almost threw it into a dangerous spot. If that ball's lower, that's probably a pick six. I think that Marcus McCray-Adams, if that ball is lower, makes the interception and takes it back for a touchdown. And that's exactly why I said ahead of that snap, I wouldn't have been surprised if the Bandits ran the football. Make sure that the Legion do not beat you in this game as the result of a turnover. Now, it looks like they're going to send the offensive personnel out there again. The question is, will they actually go for this on 4th down? I don't think so.
Well, Marcus McCray-Adams is playing safety right now on this play, but he might be the punt returner if Tyler sends this away. You would have to think he is going to send this away where they're currently set at in the field. Almost at another neutral zone. Tyler's actually going to run it. He gets to the outside. Does he have enough for the 1st down? It's going to be close, Joe.
I think he got it, Nick.
I think he did get it. Considering where the referee is spotted right now, I think that's a 1st down for the Bandits.
They gave it to him on the near sideline. The lines judge on the far side said no. But the referee on the near side signals 1st down. And, Nick, that is a gutsy call by the Bandits. I like it. Easy to say after it works. And we thought for sure he was punting that football.
And I think the biggest thing on that entire play was Tyler's field awareness to notice where the 1st down marker was and to extend the ball with his arm to get it past that 1st down marker. That's an excellent job by him and a huge conversion. You said it. That takes a lot of guts to go for it in that spot of the field to get a conversion because one misplay and you don't get the 1st down, that gives the Legion once again great field position. So a huge 4th down conversion for the Bandits.
I think we've entered that point in the game now where we have to wonder how much time is left.
And if you're the Legion, you're hoping there's a decent amount of time because 2 timeouts left. They really need to force a stop right here. Almost had a chance of interception. Just 2 plays to go as Tyler will step back again. Once again, we'll have to scramble. Runs into one of his offensive linemen, but is able once again to get a couple yards on the play. And once again, the Legion had a chance in the backfield, Joe, to get Tyler down. They could not tackle him. He's able to make it something out of nothing, and he gets 3 yards on the carry.
Well, if you're the Legion, the good plays have come defensively when they've kept Tyler in the pocket. The Bandits haven't been able to complete many passes. They had a nice drive to start the third quarter, but overall in this game, when they've kept the quarterback in the pocket, good things have happened for them defensively. When the quarterback has broken contain, specifically in the second half, it's been nothing but problems for the Legion defensively. They've missed tackles outside the hash marks. One of those allowed the 2-point try, which gave the Bandits the lead, a lead they still hold at 14-12. And, of course, on that, do we call it a fake punt?
I don't think we could call it a fake punt,
no,
but
they lost contain on Tyler on that play, too,
yeah.
and he was able to take it up the sideline. I think if you're the Legion defensively, you have to have an eye on the quarterback, keep him in the backfield. Even if you rush 3, the Bandits haven't shown that they can complete passes consistently. The question is, do you have the time to play it like that late in this game?
We'll have to see what comes coming here with Tyler now taking his time. He's going to let some clock run. To be 2nd and 7 from their own 36-yard line. There's some movement once again on the line. Multiple flags being thrown on the field once again. We've seen that all night, Joe. A lot of movement on that line. And this time it's going to go against the Bandits. It's going to be a false start.
That's what I thought when the flags flew. I think a lot of the time, though, you and I were both wrong earlier in the game. I think a lot of the time, based on how many defenders cross the line of scrimmage, you can tell which way the penalty is going to go. If the entire defensive line is off, typically that's a penalty on the offense because they are following the offensive player. If you see one defensive player cross the line early, the penalty typically is on the defense.
So now after the false start, now leads to 2nd and 12. Another penalty by the Bandits, and if the Legion can get a good quick stop here, Joe, they could force the Bandits to throw it on 3rd and long. So we'll see what Tyler and company can do here. High snap once again, and a delayed handoff to his running back. And he's looking to throw it. He's still looking to throw it. He's still running, still trying to throw. Now he has to run, and they're actually going to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. And there are multiple players down the field. A very interesting play, I would say, to say the least, on that one.
Well, Nick, they didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. They got back to the line of scrimmage on 1st down, if I'm not mistaken, which was the 30. Though I could be wrong there.
The first
it looks
down,
like there is a down marker.
The first down was at the 33-yard line.
Here's another look.
And I think what happened is I think they ruled him out even further back there, or unless there was a penalty on the field, because the ball now is going to be spotted at the 22-yard line.
In that case, there had to be a penalty. It looks like he was out at about the 28. I actually forgot about the penalty as well. So they were marked back 5. I think you were right initially. I think they did get back to about the line of scrimmage.
There's a lot of discussion, I could say, going on this side of the field for the Bandits. They're trying to get the right personnel in for this upcoming play.
He's trying to listen in. Officially, we have each team, or unofficially, I should say, we have each team with 2 timeouts left ahead of this 3rd and very long, about 21.
Need to get to the 43-yard line to get the first down. And they are at the 22, so they do need 21 yards to get this conversion. If you're the Legion, Joe, cannot have a penalty in this spot. Have got to play clean football.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Nick. And if you're the Bandits, you have to make sure that you give your special teams unit the opportunity to punt. Do not turn the ball over here. Unless it's a heave down the field. Maybe you take a shot one-on-one. That's effectively a punt.
Going to be an inside handoff to the running back for Tyler on this play. He'll get 2 yards to make it 4th down. So a quick stop for the Legion after the penalty.
And Nick, that's what I thought the Bandits would do before when they had a 3rd and long. I thought they would hand the ball off and be willing to punt it away. Granted, it wasn't 3rd and 21 before, but they very nearly threw a pick 6 on their last 3rd down play. This most recent 3rd down play is a carry for a gain of 2.
Oh, Joe, we saw him on 4th and 9. He got a conversion.
4th and 19?
It would take an arm and a leg for him to convert on this play right here.
And Nick, we have reached the 2-minute warning. This game may very well come down to a Legion drive in the closing minutes of this game. The Bandits' winless streak could end tonight here on the PDF Sports Network.
Technically, the Legion's losing streak here on PDF could end because they have
is
not
true.
won since
That
we
is true.
cover them. Something's got to give.
That's right. 2 big minutes coming up. We'll see what the Bandits do here.
And you got to say, Joe, with this being the final regular season game of the year, what a good way to end this regular season. This one's going to come down to the wire. Both teams looking to get a huge win going into the playoffs.
We haven't covered any close games this year. It's really remarkable.
We've had a bad stretch, especially you and I.
Yeah. The Bandits and Legion have played the closest games in the league, at least on the EFA side of the schedule. We had a couple of games that were close at halftime. Those have been primarily Bears games, and the Bears have then run away with it, whether it be late in the first half or early in the second half. That Bears-Demon Knights game was a 2-score game. We were closing in on halftime, and then the Bears stole 6 on the final play of the half with a 2-minute drive, and that was huge. That completely changed the game. Here we go, 4th and 19.
So here we go now. 4th and 19. Tyler is the one in the backfield. Got to believe this time, Joe, he's going to be the one that's going to be punting
He's
it.
punting.
And he'll punt it away, and this is not a good punt, unfortunately. It will take a little bit of a bounce. It's actually going to be returned for the Legion, and it's going to be rolled out of bounds at around maybe the 18-yard line. That was maybe at best a 10-yard punt, and the Legion were able to get the return and get a couple extra yards on the play. So now this is even bigger because now the Legion, once again, we've said it a bunch of times in this game, have great field position, and they now needed more than ever to get this go-ahead score this late into this game. Under the 2-minute warning now, they really need to capitalize because they've had a rough time of it here in the second half offensively.
They sure have, but they can put that in the rearview mirror very quickly with a score on this possession. And you have to wonder, early in the game, Omar DeBerry was punting for the Bandits. Why not utilize him in that spot? He must be injured, or perhaps something else occurred that we don't know about, but he was punting it earlier in the game. That has changed, and Tyler punted that one straight up in the air. He got a very good bounce on his first punt. He did not get a good bounce on that one, and the Legion hoped to take advantage.
And they'll do it inside the red zone as well. They're going to be at the Bandits' 16-yard line. So this is the spot you want to be in if you're the Legion. You have the ball at the 16, under 2 minutes to go. You do have 2 timeouts as well. So that's the question I have, Joe, is with this spot in the field, you can't possibly think of maybe trying to run the ball maybe once or twice to try to fool this Bandits defense, who's got to be thinking at this point you're going to be throwing the football.
Well, you have 2 timeouts, as I mentioned. That's unofficial, but we believe we have the timeout tally correct. The running game is on the table in this spot. If you're the Legion, you can definitely put the ball on the ground once or twice. But if you do, you probably have to have 2 plays called in the huddle, get back to the line of scrimmage quickly, and execute that second play. With the timeouts, they don't have to call 2 plays. They can choose to run it, obviously, and then use a timeout. But I think if you're the Legion, this game will likely come down to the accuracy of your quarterback. There have been one-on-one opportunities. There's not a lot of field to work with here in the red zone. They're unlikely to hit a big play like they hit earlier with a run after the catch. Andrews is going to have to put a ball into a tighter window, get that ball out quickly and on target, potentially to win the game for his team.
We've seen the Bandits defense make some big plays here in the second half. They need one right here. Handoff is going to be to the running back Randolph, and look at this Bandits defense. That's going to be a loss of about 3 yards on the play. So they do run it on first down, and Randolph tried to get to the outside, but the Bandits, they swarmed on it and forced the loss on the play. It's actually going to be a loss of 4. Make it 2nd and 14 coming up for the Legion. So an early run, and now the clock is ticking on this Legion offense. Andrews will be in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap. He looks, he throws it into the middle. He's got his receiver. He's got a touchdown. Sadiq Nathaniel once again, his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Legion take a late lead, 18-14 over the Bandits.
And Nick, I'm not sure if the Bandits blew a coverage on that play, but there was a lot of room in the middle of the field. I thought Andrews might have to put a ball in a tight window to get his team a score. And he did drop it in the middle of that zone defense. A nicely thrown ball by Andrews. And Nathaniel is in for his 3rd score of the game. What a night for him at the receiver position. We've seen Nathaniel score before, not on the offensive side. He plays defensive back for the Jersey Bearcats during the arena season. He's put on quite the show at receiver tonight.
And Joe, now this is a huge play upcoming here. If the Legion get the 2-point conversion, it's a 6-point game. But if they don't convert, it will give the Bandits a chance to win the game. So, crucial play upcoming right here for New York, trying to take a 6-point lead. Andrews will take the snap, does have pressure, quick throw, ball is tipped and it's incomplete. Looked like the intended receiver was his tight end Gooding, but the ball got tipped and was down after that. So a huge stop for the Bandits. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining as they now try to go down the field to win this game.
Well, Nick, whoever's in charge of the field rental will be happy to know that there is not potential for overtime now. 18-14, a touchdown for the Bandits would win them the game. And we will see what their offense has in store for us in this spot.
Unfortunately, it looked like for the Bandits on that touchdown reception, Joe, it just looked like it was some miscommunication with the secondary in terms of who was guarding Nathaniel. And that's the one guy you don't want to leave open, especially in this spot of the field. He takes advantage, gets his touchdown, his 3rd of the game, gives his team the late lead. And now the Bandits, they're up now in the area where they have to go quickly on offense to try to give their team a win.
Well, Nick, if I'm the Legion, something that you can't afford to overlook in this spot, kickoff return coverage. The Bandits have already taken one back for a touchdown, as we will get a look at the 3 scores by Sadiq Nathaniel. There's number 1. That came early in this game. Keep in mind, that drive started inside of the Bandits' 20. The most recent drive started inside of the Bandits' 20. This scoring drive started in Bandits territory. As you see Nathaniel with the run after the catch, he's done it all tonight. He won the jump ball in the corner, though there wasn't much of a jump by the defensive back who hadn't yet located the football. That time he won a foot race up the sideline on the curl, and here he wins in between the zones of the Bandits defense. Touchdown Legion, 3 scores for Sadiq Nathaniel. For the first time in a matchup between these 2 teams that I can recall, one team has scored 3 times. And this, Nick, by far, has been our most closely competitive game of the season. It will come down to the final minute.
And I think we'll see another squib kick upcoming here for the Legion.
They'll intentionally kick it out of bounds.
Yep.
And that looked like it went out somewhere between the 40 and the 45 of the Bandits.
So we'll have to see where they spot this ball after the kick went out of bounds. We saw it earlier. We saw the Legion with the squib kick, giving the Bandits the short field.
Well, it comes down to this for the Bandits offense. They held the lead with under 2 minutes to play and had the Legion with their backs against the wall, 3rd and long. But Chris Andrews was able to find Sadiq Nathaniel for his 3rd score. That made it a 4-point game. And we have to guess that the Bandits have somewhere around 1 minute remaining to put up a score and come away with the win.
They do have the 2 timeouts to their play as well. But we saw on their only scoring drive here of this game, Joe, most of their yards came through the ground with quarterback Jason Tyler getting those yardage. They're in a spot on the field now where they really can't afford to do that and get as most yards because they're going to have to call an immediate timeout once after. So see right here, here is the lone scoring drive they had. Tyler avoiding the pressure, getting to the outside and getting into the end zone. He would also get a 2-point conversion on that drive as well. And we did see him throw an earlier ball in this one where he had a wide open wide receiver. The ball went right through the wide receiver's hands. Could have easily been a touchdown for the Bandits. And now it's going to be up to him and his arm late here in the fourth quarter to try to win his team this game.
And that's the big question, Nick. Can he win the game with his arm? Will his offensive line give him enough time to get the football out? And we will see the answers to those questions shortly. I'm not sure what the delay is right now.
I think the conversation is do they want to do maybe a re-kick or a spottage? I'm not 100% sure if that is the exact conversation going on towards the Bandits sideline.
I hope they rented the field until 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Some of the lights did go out.
Well, that was on the field behind us.
Yeah. So if what I'm being told is correct, apparently, Joe, the Bandits were offside in the kickoff.
You don't see that very often, but we've seen a lot of unusual things tonight.
I can't remember the last time I've ever seen a team go offside in a kickoff. And with the kick also going out of bounds, I think that was the conversation of re-kicking or not re-kicking. Still looking to see what the conversation is and where the officials place this ball. Looks like they're going to place it at the 35-yard line. So maybe that's where the ball went out of play. Number 11 for the Bandits was offside. That's Period Jean Charles. That was offside on the play. So the ball is going to be spotted at the 35 for the Bandits. They will have to go 75 yards. 65 yards. Did my math wrong. They'll have to go 65 yards down the field to try to win this game and get their first win of the season and their first win since 2021. So, crucial drive upcoming here for New York. So, we'll see what the Bandits could do here. First down will be an inside handoff on the end around. And they're going to get a gain of 6 and a good job to get out of bounds as well on that carry. As that will be what the Bandits will have to do. If they're going to try to run the ball in this spot, Joe, they have to get out of bounds immediately. They get 6 yards on the play, and they'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, you have to think that play call caught the Legion by surprise. It certainly caught me by surprise. I did not expect the Bandits to run the football. But you said it, Nick. They did a good job to get out of bounds. That makes all the difference in this spot.
Tyler takes a snap here, rolls to his right, gets sacked in the backfield. There was a flag thrown on the play. Tyreek Noble was the man that got there in the backfield, but we'll have to see what the flag is.
That was a great tackle by Noble, but unfortunately it won't matter. It's a penalty against the Legion.
Now, did you see, Joe, what the exact penalty was?
This was the motion by the referee. Nick saw what I did, but
so it must have been
a fist to the chest.
Oh, okay.
It was a fist to the chest. I'm not sure what that signal indicates.
Well, it's an automatic first down for the Bandits because the marker says first down at the Bandits' 46-yard line. So Tyler and company will have the first down here. He'll take the snap once again, has to step up in the pocket, does have pressure, and he's going to get wrapped up in the midfield. The ball's out. He tried to lateral it. There looks to be a face mask on the play as well, as there was a flag thrown on the field.
That's a face mask against the Legion, Nick, and the Legion defense right now not doing themselves any favors. They had Tyler dead to rights in the middle of the field. And when he was on his way down, they grabbed him by the face mask. I think that helped force the ball out. You'll see it here on the replay. Tyler steps up, and right there,
you're right.
The face mask definitely assisted in forcing the fumble.
Noble was the one that knocked it out. I thought originally maybe it was another lateral, but
I think they ruled him down.
I think they did rule him down, but the face mask.
Well, he wasn't down.
I think they're going to give him the yardage, and from the spot of the foul, that's where they're going to get. So the ball's going to be at the 35-yard line upcoming for the Bandits. So you're absolutely right, Joe. These penalties are not helping the Legion in this spot. Now gives the Bandits an opportunity to win this game. Got to think you got to be under the 1-minute mark as well. They do have 2 timeouts as well.
At most, Nick, I think they've lost maybe 15 seconds on these 3 plays. Maybe that. Possibly 20.
We'll have to see what Tyler and company can do now after the penalty. Looks to be potentially a free play. There was movement at the line. He's going to throw it deep. Does he have a receiver? He's got the touchdown! Flag on the field. I believe it's going to be neutral zone on the Legion. It's a touchdown for the Bandits.
And Nick, I don't think that drive took more than 25 seconds. A flag flies once again in the end zone, and we will see what that flag is for. I think the Bandits sideline may have been flagged for joining in the celebration, but lost in all that. What a throw by Jason Tyler. 2 defenders in coverage. And unfortunately, we don't have number 5 on our roster, but we saw the potential in terms of speed there on that play. He burned a pair of Legion defenders, and he's made a shocking turn in this game, Nick.
He's the mystery man. He's made a lot of big plays in this one, Joe. He has a forced fumble, couple of big catches, and now none big catcher right there, because now he gives his team the lead, the late lead on that one. The man that got the penalty was Danny Harris Jr. We've spoken a lot about him in this game. He has been huge for this Legion defense, and unfortunately on that play he jumped offside, leading to that free play, and a great throw, like you said, from Tyler. Now gives his team a 2-point lead here late in the fourth quarter.
The question now is, who is that penalty against? Is the ball spotted at the 1 or the 2? I thought initially that it was against the Bandits, but it looks like the ball might be spotted at the 1. If that is the case, the penalty was against the Legion. And I can't say enough about that throw, Nick. That's probably the best ball we've seen all night.
Right in between the defenders for only his receiver to catch it to. Cannot speak enough of how Jason Tyler has impacted the second half of this game, Joe. 2 huge touchdown drives for his team. Now gives them the lead 20-18 here in the fourth quarter. And for the Legion, a back-breaking touchdown. Some big penalties as well on the drive, giving the Bandits some extra yardage and getting them into that spot on the field. And now they will have to go quickly once again to have themselves an opportunity to win the game.
Well, Nick, if you look at that play right there, the Legion seemed to do what I suggested earlier. They didn't send 4 pass rushers off the defensive line. If you look at the end of the defensive line, Tyreek Noble is there. He is not rushing the quarterback. He is in a defensive stance waiting for Tyler to try and break, contain, and run with the football. That took away at least 1 pass rusher. The rest of the Legion defensive line were kind of just meandering around, standing, not going after Tyler. They wanted to make sure that he couldn't run the football, and they paid for that mistake as he threw a dot over the top of 2 defenders, hit his man in stride in the end zone for a touchdown. And with that, the Bandits take a 2-point lead. We are still awaiting the 2-point conversion as the officials were discussing the penalty with the Legion bench.
I did see one of the penalties was called against the Bandits for unsportsmanlike conduct after that touchdown celebration.
That's what I thought initially.
You can't really blame them, Joe, because in this spot in the game, especially with what's at stake for them, you can't blame them for celebrating that one. But there must have been a penalty also on the Legion to keep this ball at the 1 to 2 yard line. So it's going to be Tyler once again in the shotgun, looking to give his team now a 4-point lead once again. And we have multiple flags.
Delay of game against the Bandits.
So that's going to back it up 5 yards.
Keep in mind, Nick, they've backed up 5 yards. The Bandits lead by 2. Earlier in the game.
I was going to pose you this question earlier.
Earlier in the game, we saw an interception on a 2-point try. Do the Bandits consider kneeling the football?
I think if you're going to call play, either you run the ball on the spot, or I think you absolutely have to take a knee. Cannot afford to give your opponent a chance to run it back and tie this game.
So what do we do if the Bandits surrender 2 points on this?
But then again, we saw the Bandits with that gutsy 4th and 9 call earlier
Nick,
in the second half.
I would kneel it.
I would too, but
I would kneel it.
They're not a kneeling formation. They're in shotgun once again. Tyler's going to take the snap. He's going to throw it on the fade route. He has his receiver. Did he get it? He's down. He's got the 2-point conversion.
What do I know, Nick?
That infamous fade route, Joe. We've seen it a lot with the Bears, and now the Bandits, they work it to perfection, and they get the 2-point conversion, and they now have a 4-point lead.
If there's one play that you can run in the passing game in that situation, leading by 2, it's the fade route. They got the one-on-one coverage, another good ball from Tyler, and the catch is made right along that boundary, along the side of the end zone, and now 4-point game, certainly under a minute to play. We have the Legion with 2 timeouts. There's definitely time left in this game.
34 seconds to be left in this game.
34 seconds.
So that's still a decent amount of time for the Legion. We've seen them throw the football and are able to get some good yards. And if you're the Bandits in this spot, Joe, Sadiq Nathaniel has burned you for 3 touchdowns. You cannot afford him to get open and make another huge play this late into the game. Time is certainly of the essence. You got the 2 timeouts for the Legion. The Bandits also still have their 2 timeouts. They did a great job of not using any of their timeouts on their offensive drive. So they can still draw up a good play call and avoid any disaster in the defensive field.
And Nick, if you're the Bandits defensively, do you come out in an umbrella-style coverage, protect the sideline so that any receiver can't get out of bounds but prevent anything from going over your head?
Well, before I make that point, the excessive celebration penalty was enforced on the kickoff. So how about this? The kickoff is going to be around the 20-yard line of the Bandits. So the Bandits might have to be forced to can't do the umbrella defense because it could potentially be, once again for the Legion, short field upcoming. They really need a decent kick upcoming right here. You see where the Legion are right now, Joe. They pretty much have their returners around their own 40-yard line. It has to be a decent kick for the Bandits here. They might not be able to use that defense here late in the fourth quarter just because of the field position.
I think a big question as well, how much of a pass rush can you generate with 3 defensive linemen?
We'll have to see. Here's the kickoff. Got to be returned, it looks like, by Villanueva. Correction, that's not Villanueva. We'll get the number in a second.
That's Glover.
That's Glover to the outside. He'll get it inside the 40, down to around the 37-yard line, and try and do some math, Joe, and think of how much time just ran off the clock on that return.
I'd say 8 seconds.
So you might have about 20. If it was 8 seconds, you got to think you have 26 seconds potentially left in the game.
Maybe 9 or 10. A little bit more.
I think that was a good job by the Bandits to force them to return it as well, to make them waste that clock. Do have an injury on the field right now currently for the Legion. But now forcing them to take a couple seconds off the clock. Now it forces the Legion to either get some quick throws to the outside and try to preserve one of those 2 timeouts, or force them to throw something up the middle of the field and then try to get a timeout call before. So interesting decisions coming up for the Legion. Correction now, Joe. The player down was one of the Bandits players.
2 number 8s on the roster, Jason Pacheco Jr., a wide receiver, and Cameron Nicholson, a defensive back. We've seen a lot from Nicholson tonight, so I think it's more likely that's him, but tough to tell. And they're going to carry Nicholson off the field here.
I hope that he is okay.
And Nick, this game is far from over. We've said that so many times covering the EFA in the past. Last year, we had a lot of games like that came down to the wire. This game, our first of the 2023 season, by far the most entertaining game from start to finish that we've covered this year. And the Legion have a chance to score in the closing 34 seconds and steal a win from the Bandits. It looked like the Legion had scored a game-winning touchdown. The Bandits came down the field, due in large part to some penalties by the Legion. They scored, and now the Legion offense will get another chance from the Bandits' 36-yard line. We think now with about maybe 24 seconds.
Maybe
they were
that.
34 ahead of that kickoff return.
Huge drive coming for the Legion and quarterback Chris Andrews. They try to win this game before their playoff game in 2 weeks against the Demon Knights. Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown. And Joe, it's Sadiq Nathaniel again. His 4th touchdown of the night. And the Legion take a late lead once again, 24-22.
Well, Nick, I think there was a hole in that umbrella as Nathaniel ran straight up the field wide open.
Rainy days for the Bandits. And that, again, he just ran right past them on a streak route.
There were 2 defenders that both were covering the short area near the sideline. They had 2 defenders drifting into that left flat. One of those defenders, I believe, was supposed to sprint straight down the field off the snap. That has to be the coverage call, I would think. You'll see it here near the top of the screen. 2 defenders covering that receiver in the flat. Nathaniel's wide open for a touchdown. That's unbelievable.
And I said it before the kickoff. That's the one guy you cannot allow to get into the end zone this late into the game. And now, Joe, the Legion are in the same spot that the Bandits were in. You're up 2 points. A run back could tie the game. You could kneel it. But then again, the Bandits, they proved us wrong and got their own 2-point conversion. Let's see if maybe the Legion try to do it on a fade route here.
I would still kneel it.
Now, keep in mind, look at the formation. They don't have Andrews in the backfield at quarterback. He's playing kind of a slot wide receiver. It's Tramel Williams once again at quarterback.
I'd still kneel it, Nick.
Andrews is in motion. It will go to Williams. He's going to get in for the 2-point conversion. They proved us wrong once again. Tramel Williams on the keeper gets the 2-point conversion, and once again, the Legion have a 4-point lead, 26-22, with maybe under 20 seconds left in regulation.
I'm thinking we're just inside of 20 seconds, Nick. Do the Bandits have another score in them? The Legion likely can't hurt themselves with penalties too much on another Bandits drive. The penalties were a huge reason why the Bandits were able to go the length of the field and score. No excessive celebration here as well. That certainly played a role ahead of that last drive. And if you showed us this score at the start of the 4th quarter, we would have been asking ourselves, what happened? How?
We spoke so much about the defenses going into this game, and it looked like that was the case in the first half, a 12-6 game at halftime. But a credit to these 2 offenses. They have really showed out in the second half. The Bandits obviously making a quarterback change, going with Tyler. The Legion made their quarterback change early in the first half. Andrews has been really good for them most of the way. A huge touchdown pass to Nathaniel for his 4th score, giving his team now the late lead. And now, Joe, you talked about the Bandits defense upcoming for that Legion drive. Now the Legion are on the same side of where they've got to be very careful and not allow any big plays through the air in order to get a huge win tonight here at Facina.
It's hard to believe what we just saw, Nick. The replay came up again. I still can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. You spoke about it. The coverage was just it was a miscommunication. They had 2 receivers going on the comeback route, and Nathaniel just streaked right up the middle or on that left sideline to get that touchdown.
That makes it even more remarkable. He was the only receiver who was running a route down the field.
And you would have thought after the first 3 touchdowns, you would put 2 guys on him at that rate.
Yeah.
So now with the touchdown, and now We've seen the Legion the last couple of times kick it out of bounds. I think in this spot you have to kick it in bounds to waste some clock.
I think that's a good point. The time that would come off the clock, certainly a factor, but the Bandits have already taken one back for a touchdown. Is that risk worth the time that would come off?
I think you got to squib it, and that's exactly what they do. It's kind of that.
Nick, what were they thinking?
That looked more like
are there 5 seconds? Maybe there's less time than we think. Because if there's anything more than 20 seconds, I don't think you can try that.
That looked more like an onside kick.
That was an onside kick, and then the Legion touched it, which means the Bandits will take over on the plus side of midfield.
We've seen some interesting plays these last couple of minutes.
See, it's hard to question something like that when you don't know how much time is left, but we're guessing that there were somewhere around 15 to 20 seconds left. If you kick it straight out of bounds, the Legion have to go probably 60 yards, maybe a bit more. Now, you nearly cut that in half if that's an illegal touching penalty against the Legion. It looks like the Legion may have seen something on the side of the Bandits. I'm not sure. It's so hard to make judgments here when we don't know exactly what the conversation is down on the field. This might be the longest minute I've ever covered as well, just saying.
Well, we always seem to have that effect where we think it's 1 or 2 minutes and it's a couple seconds now at this point, and it usually takes a longer time, but have we been treated to a really good, fun contest here tonight in New Rochelle? A great way to end the regular season, as I mentioned earlier. Now, the Bandits looking to get that win once again in the scenario where they're going to have to get a quick touchdown. Not much time left in the game. They still also have their 2 timeouts as well. And the ball is going to be spotted. It looks to be at the 38-yard line.
Nick,
I know you're speechless.
From up here, knowing only what we know, I can't even fathom why they tried that onside kick and then immediately touched the ball, unless they thought there was no time.
Well,
if you're forcing the Bandits to scoop up an onside kick and then tackle them to get the last second off the clock, I get it. That makes sense. I can't see any other circumstances where that makes sense.
Well, we saw Tyler on the last drive, Joe, with a great touchdown pass. Can he do it again to give his team their first win in 2 years? He steps back. He's got pressure. Not much time, and he's going to get sacked in the backfield. And for the Bandits, they got to call a quick timeout.
They do.
Once again, pressure being forced by that Legion defense, and they get a huge stop on first down to make it 2nd and long.
Well, Nick, with that timeout called, we have the Bandits with 1 remaining, and this game could very well come down to a Hail Mary.
For all we know, Joe, this could potentially be the final play of the game.
Could be. I don't think so, but it could be.
I don't think so either, but we have been proven wrong before.
And I get the sense as well that at some point during the off week, George will fill us in on why they decided to kick it short there. I think he'll explain to us what the thought process was. He usually has a very open line of communication with us here at PDF. He'll fill us in and let us know what the mindset was on that kickoff.
So now the ball after that sack is going to be at the 41-yard line. 2nd down. Got to wonder how much time is left in regulation. Bandits do have a timeout, so if there is still a decent amount of time, they can potentially get a quick play, maybe call a timeout. But depending how much time is left, this could maybe be the final play of the game. And if you're the Legion, you got to set everyone back to make sure there is not another mishap in the secondary.
And you take a look at the defensive alignment here for the Legion. They are backed off from the line of scrimmage, 2 deep safeties.
So here we go now. It's 2nd and long for Tyler. He takes a snap, looks to his right. Not going to have a chance again, and he's going to get sacked again. And, Joe, I'm not sure the Bandits have another timeout. They're having to go quick. They don't. They have no timeouts left. The Bandits have to go quickly. This might be the last play of the game right here. And Tyler spikes it, so
1 second left, Nick.
Wow.
They spiked it with 1 second remaining.
So So here's what I saw earlier. Earlier, we had a stoppage, and I was wondering if there was a timeout called. I didn't see the referees make the pose to call the timeout. And it was a long stoppage, maybe around the 2-minute mark, maybe a little bit earlier than the 2-minute mark. But the way the Bandits ran back to the ball on that one, that clearly was because they didn't have that last timeout. So now they had the wherewithal just to get back to the line of scrimmage and get that stoppage on the spike. And now, Joe, we can emphatically say this is definitely the last play of the game unless there's an untimed down on a penalty. So the Legion have to be very careful on this next upcoming play.
Can Tyler throw it 45 yards to the end zone is what becomes the question right now.
The Legion cannot afford a pass interference or holding on this play. We've seen a lot of mishaps, especially on their last drive, where penalties were the reason why the Bandits got down the field. Last play of the game, Tyler steps back. A high snap, he's running. He'll have to throw it even further than the 44 yards. He's still running. He's still looking for a receiver. He finally throws it down the field. He has the receiver there. The pass is tipped and intercepted. And that's going to do it here in New Rochelle. It's going to be returned, and it's going to be a big win for the Legion. They're going to hang on in this one by the final of 26-22. Their defense, Joe, makes a huge stop to end this one, and heartbreak for the Bandits.
Darren Glover with another pick to seal the game. And that ball didn't quite reach the end zone. It was just short of the goal line. We'll get a second look at it in a moment. Tyler did all he could to buy as much time as possible, but he could not get it to the end zone on this throw. There you see him step up in the pocket. He bought himself quite a bit of time, and this is how close he came. Smart play there to bat that ball back toward the end zone by the intended target there. Again, number 5. Not on our roster, but Glover didn't want to take a knee. He was going to try and run it back. He was hoping perhaps the Bandits might let up.
Want some style points to end the game.
But that'll do it. The Legion hold on, and the Bandits are held without a win on the field this season. They do have 3 wins via forfeit.
But for the Bandits, I mean, a tough loss, but you saw some good things for them in this game. Jason Tyler, despite the interception to end the game, really kept the Bandits in this one, made a huge touchdown throw to give his team the lead. But unfortunately for the Bandits, their defense just could not stop Sadiq Nathaniel. 4 receiving touchdowns on the game, and he is a big reason why the Legion hold on to get the win on the season, their 5th win of the year. You see right there, that's his first of 4 touchdowns of the night. And now, Joe, for the Legion, they now go into their next playoff matchup in 2 weeks against the Demon Knights. This Bandits team will now have to respond after this tough defeat going against the undefeated Bears in 2 weeks. As you see right there, that's the second touchdown for Nathaniel. For these two teams now, first we'll go over the Bandits. How can they respond now from this loss, now trying to respond and regroup themselves in 2 weeks against the Bears?
I think the Bandits need to figure out their pass protection. There are some plays where they get absolutely nothing in the way of pass blocking. There were other plays where they got solid pass blocking, and when Jason Tyler was given time, he showed us he can throw the football. But the pass blocking not only helps you in terms of your quarterback getting the ball out and airing it out down the field, it also affords them the opportunity to step up through the pocket and run with the football, the opportunity to get the edge and run outside of the hash marks and break runs toward the sideline, as we saw Tyler with great speed toward the sideline, winning foot races against defenders. For the Bandits, they need to figure out their blocking. They got away from the run game in the second half. That's something that we expected to see both teams do early in the game, run the football. The Bandits really got away from it late in this game, and it worked out for them. A lot of their carries came from the quarterback position.
And now, overall for the Legion, Joe, now they get some momentum going into their matchup with the Demon Knights in 2 weeks. A huge momentum boost going into that playoff matchup with Empire State. And it looked like they were about to lose, but big late game heroics from Nathaniel, giving them a late lead, and they hold on due to their defense forcing another big-time interception to get this 26-22 win over the Bandits. Their 5th win of the season. The Bandits now dropping once again. They will now look to respond back as they go up against the Bears in just a few weeks' time. So we'll have to see how these two teams will respond, Joe. But any final thoughts before we wrap this one up tonight?
Well, Nick, I think hands down, this was our most entertaining game of the season, no question about it. One of the only games that was highly competitive all the way through to the end. The Legion demonstrated quite a bit of grit late in this game. They did a great job to battle back. It looked like the Bandits had stolen a win here on their home turf, but the New York Legion were able to make the big plays late when they needed to. And we will take a look before we sign off at our upcoming schedule here on the PDF Sports Network. Technical setup allowing, we have 3 games next weekend. All 3 will air on Flow Hockey, Rockets Hockey Club in action at the Bridgewater Sports Arena. And we will see if the technical setup allows for those broadcasts to take place, but we are excited to bring you Rockets Hockey next weekend. As for our coverage of the EFA, we are back for EFA playoff football on November 11th. It looks like we are headed to Granny Road Park. That is the matchup we expected to be assigned. That could change. The New York Legion will take on the Empire State Demon Knights. In that first-round matchup, as we've mentioned already several times, the New York Bears will take on the New York Bandits.
We'll have to see where we are in just 2 weeks' time, Joe. But that is going to do it here from Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle for the PDF Sports Network. I have been Nicholas Vona, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman. For all of us here at PDF, have a great rest of your night.